All right. Good evening, everybody. Rachel and I just saw Return to Silent Hill.
It was a thing.
It exists. And,
Yeah, and fair warning, as stated, people know, but just to clearly state, spoilers.
Spoilers. There will be spoilers.
Honestly,
we're going to talk about stuff.
Y'all, I don't know if it's going to be as much of a roller coaster as you expect.
I think some of our opinions are going to need to be explained.
Maybe.
But we'll get into all of that. I'm giving people a chance. If you don't want the spoilers, if you just want to pop in, I've already seen a few people saying they're just popping in to, like, say hi.
And that's fine. We understand.
So, definitely understand if you're waiting to see it yourself. The release schedule is terrible. It's in a limited number of theaters. Not every country is getting it at the same time. So, yeah definitely understand.
We didn't know we were going to have it near us till, like, right before. So.
Yeah. Before we got the tickets to go and see it tonight.
It was like a week ago, literally.
I had looked at it like the day before you were able to get our tickets. The closest ones to us were like 60 miles away.
Yeah. And I had looked a week before that and was like, okay, don't see it. Fine. And then I think you were talking about how you were on stream talking about how far it was. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to double check. And then boom, it was there. And I'm like, and it was like the teeniest, tiniest in the back corner theater in like the building.
Yep. But before we get too much into it, Rushmore, thank you so much for the 71 months. Thank you so much, Rushmore. Very, very much appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Repoison, thank you so much for the 9 months.
And also, fair apologies. We did stop and get pizza, so if you hear chewing, I have not eaten all fucking day.
Yeah, we haven't really eaten anything. Rachel's literally eaten nothing today. I think I had a peanut butter sandwich.
After we got back from the vet.
Yeah. 12, 13, 14 hours ago.
Yeah, and mine was dinner last night, so.
So yeah, we stopped and got some. We're gonna sit here and eat pizza.
Eddie did not do that.
It's Silent Hill 2. Eddie didn't have time to do that. He was in the movie for 2 minutes. We have to talk about it.
Fuck.
But what's up, everyone? Shadow Noises, Dog Syrup, Judd Ashtalin, hello. You should have been with us. Maybe you're glad you weren't.
Oh, that's okay. When it comes to video streaming,
You'll
and
get
we
your
can
chance.
own it, we're putting everybody through it. It's fine.
Legate, Magpie, Low-Key. You saw the movie today as well. Very nice. Jonathan Joestar, Sinistar Aries. Vanguard, welcome. First time in the stream. Welcome, welcome. Glad you can make it. Yeah. What's up here, Amy? Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think people are going to be legitimately shocked by what we're going to talk about. Because we've already had some thoughts on the ride home.
Somewhat. We've obviously... We were talking about it while we were watching it. We were talking about it in the car ride home.
There was all of 8 people with us, and all of them were kind of chit-chatting behind. We were further away down towards the screen than they were.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, we felt... Oh, yeah, I should have asked, but I don't think they had the postcards.
No.
There was barely anybody in the theater at all anyway, so I should have asked to see if they had them, but no, I didn't get a postcard. I didn't get the Silent Hill postcard. So, Return to Silent Hill. It is not our least favorite Silent Hill movie. Let's start with that before we start getting into the details of everything. The way people have been talking about this movie, they are acting like it is the absolute worst thing. It's more fun than Revelations. I'm not going to say in terms of quality.
No.
It's better, but it's more fun. It was more fun for us to watch. We had several moments where we were having a good time laughing.
Now, I've been kind of saying this from the get-go because people about the quality, the CGI, things like that. Please keep in mind how long this movie took to come out, but when it was made.
It's a COVID movie.
It is a COVID movie with very limited budget.
It's a much more limited budget. It's a COVID film. It went through production hell to even come out. And when you see the start of the movie, when it's showing like all of the studios and all of the producers and all of these little sub companies, and there's like 20 of them that go by, and that's never a good thing in terms of movie production, because that so many finances coming from so many different directions means that they all get a seat around the table that says like what goes into the movie. So some of that is going to affect things. You're going to get, this one production company that's like, hey, we're going to give you $5 million, but you need to make sure and have this and this and not do this and not do that.
Way too many cooks in that kitchen.
So I mean, there's a lot of that type of stuff. So I mean, the first thing to really state is that it is not an accurate movie. If you're going into it expecting a faithful adaptation of Silent Hill 2 that you know and love,
no,
you're not going to get that, and you're going to be very disappointed. It is weird. It's weird. The choices that it made and the direction that it goes. And again, there's some stuff. And Terry, you're already kind of talking about it. We're going to talk about Mary's name. We're going to talk about all of it. But yes, some sets and locations
were gorgeous.
The way I described it to Rachel on the way home, it felt wasted.
Yeah.
That there were so many good sets and practical effects and locations. It felt wasted that all of the pieces for a very accurate adaptation were there. And they chose not to use them to create a more faithful adaptation, which is extremely odd. That's a very odd choice to me.
But we're also circling back to the Too Many Cooks.
Too Many Cooks. It's also sort of what Christoph Gans did with Silent Hill 1. Like, there's a lot of creative liberty taken there where it's like, oh, we're faithfully recreating these camera shots and these environments and these effects to make them replicate the game as close as possible, just not the story or the characters.
Yeah.
Which is very weird. I also didn't like the music.
They had
the choices of music were good.
Where they placed them was weird.
And it was nice we got more Silent Hill 4.
I told you.
Yeah,
have to pull from 4.
We were talking about this before we went and saw it, where we were like, they used up all the best tracks, all the most iconic stuff from Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill 3 in the first movie, and even in Revelation. So we were like, what are they going to do about the soundtrack for this one? And the answer is, they're just going to stick some fucking songs in.
Yeah.
Whether they feel appropriate or not. Like, here's the music box. I started dancing in the theater. Not really, but in my heart, I was James dancing in the theater when the music box song came on. But it was Evie Templeton
being a creepy little girl,
quote
unquote little girl.
Yeah, the creepy little 19-year-old girl. She's probably not quite that old.
No, she's not quite that old, but
she definitely was older than Laura's character should have been. It's interesting learning that that when whoever casting director would have been, that they didn't know that Evie was Laura in Silent Hill 2 Remake because she was under NDA. There's some weird production stuff that was going on. But yeah, Evie was under NDA. They just happened to cast her as Laura for both the remake and the movie without knowing. But there must have been some sort of communication because this movie
there's too many little similarities.
This movie started production before Silent Hill 2 Remake, like years and years before Silent Hill 2 Remake. But there were so many things that were Silent Hill 2 Remake adjacent that it's like they must have seen.
I think they got like a really early rough cut screen of it to be like, hey, here's kind of some stuff we want
the
you to look
roach,
at.
the roach in the bathroom scene, having it run across the floor in that pan up camera. Again, very faithfully recreating that bathroom set and those camera angles, showing James at the mirror and the urinals in the foreground and like the roach across the floor.
Then they tilt that camera.
The camera tilts. They were really, really faithfully recreating those camera shots while also sort of simultaneously doing away with story and character beats.
I mean, James is an alcoholic.
And a stoner.
At least he was. He became more of an alcoholic later. I don't think the stoner was working for him.
He's an alcoholic stoner who likes Ford Mustangs and drives like a complete dick.
And is somehow from Layers of Fear.
They whenever they were doing research, they heard Bloober Team made the remake, and so they did their research by playing Layers of Fear and got confused.
No, that's basically Kristoff.
Seems like AI wrote the script for this
that's
movie.
Just Kristoff.
Smashed aspects. No. I think it was a Kristoff script that got picked apart by a lot of round table meetings. It felt like that kind of movie. Can't wait until y'all get onto Eddie. Well, I guess let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So, opening shot, we were like, this looks just like The Shining.
Yeah.
It's just that overview, mountain road, car driving shot. Those types of sequences in horror, especially for an intro, never fails to make us just think about The Shining and how much we would rather be watching The Shining.
Which, that was a theme.
And then we go from The Shining, this somewhat of an homage of a shot, to James pulling out a joint.
Turning on the radio.
Blaring rock music. I don't remember
what it was.
What the track was. Blaring his rock music and speeding in his Mustang and taking out a joint and lighting it.
Yeah.
And I immediately laughed. As soon in the first less than a minute of the film, I started laughing to myself. And I was like, oh no, that's going to be the tone for the rest of this movie.
They give you a pretty clear clue of what to expect.
This is our James Sunderland now. Is this guy speeding in the Mustang, lighting his joint. Get it while he ignores calls from his therapist. We had the little flashback scene to the bar fight, quote unquote bar fight, where he gets too drunk and they're like, you gotta go, pal. And for no reason, he stands up and knocks over, I guess because he's drunk, but he stands up and knocks over the waitress's stuff. So the bouncer comes over and throws him into the trash. It felt like a scene out of Letterkenny. You've only seen a little bit of Letterkenny. For my friends who know Letterkenny, go watch the first episode of Letterkenny. I think that's the first episode where they they throw oh god, what's his name? They throw a character out into the garbage just like that. Been a while since James had a good scrap. I was just thinking Letterkenny in my head the whole time.
Good choice of music in the club, though. That actually fit.
Yeah.
It's the club mix of the song.
It was the club mix of the song. Some of those music choices were good songs,
weird
strange
spots.
Places in the context of the film to use them.
A few reused ones from the first movie. Not many.
And yes, James is an artiste in this version. To be fair, we never really knew too much of what James was supposed to be in the original, especially if you go off just the in-game information, no supplementary materials like the manuals and guides that just sort of say he's a clerk. Without any further context.
He could have been a painter while a clerk and then did well.
Well, there's also some concepts there that actually reminded me of the comic books. So there's a Silent Hill comic book called Paint It Black, and it's all about an artist who is antisocial and goes to Silent Hill so that he can work on his paintings like uninterrupted by society and people around him. And basically he's somebody who's like happy to be there. He's such a dark, twisted mind painter that he can live in Silent Hill and the monsters just like pose for him so that he can paint them and stuff.
And again, as much as people don't like Christoph, give him some credit. He is definitely a fan. He is a fan of Silent Hill. He's a fan of Fatal Frame.
I feel like he's a fan of the cinematography of those games more than anything.
But I wouldn't shock me if he also knew about the comics.
Probably, to some degree.
But he clearly has some passion there. It's just... It don't translate.
He definitely doesn't deserve death threats.
No.
There's already been multiple articles that have come out where fans are sending death threats to Christoph Gans. Like, even if you hate this fucking movie, that is completely uncalled for. And
it was not
again,
that bad
it was not Revelations. It was not Revelations level bad. Where Revelations, I don't have fun watching it.
It was a slog. It's a slog fest.
It hurts to sit through that film.
Yeah.
And it is much more painful seeing the wasted potential of that one. Mm-hmm. Like, good actors, like here's Douglas. Oh, Douglas is gone.
But that's the problem. That one suffered from the same thing Exorcist 2 suffered from, which is, and Hannibal, is the person who directed that film did not like the first film and wanted to be like, I'm going to fix it.
Yeah. But there was... So we'll go through the movie. So James, he's speeding in his Mustang. He lights up his joint. We flash back to getting kicked out of the bar.
Well, no, we have the whole...
Does it go immediately? Yeah. No, it just launches immediately into the Mary sequence.
Yes, we learn who Mary is. You know.
So Travis Grady almost hits him with a logging truck.
Yep.
He got fired from Ambrose after Silent Hill Origins because he abandoned his delivery.
And it was late.
And he went and ran around the town for a while. So he got fired from Ambrose, got hired as a trucker for the logging company from Final Destination 2, and almost hits James.
Well, that's James's fault.
It is James's fault. He's driving like an asshole and he's stoned.
Yeah. On the wrong side of the road.
So he swerves out of the truck's way and then swerves back and hits suitcases that are just kind of out in the middle of the road as well.
Yeah.
Like, they're not up against the bathroom wall.
So they're off on the side because that's where the bus pickup is. So she had them sitting there ready for the bus to come pull along, and then she would just grab them and go.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming she was in the bathroom.
I guess she was in the women's bathroom while that was happening, and she just kind of runs into frame. Mm-hmm. Runs from off scene.
I like the choice for Mary.
In terms of
her look. I like her voice.
Yes. One of the things that we said is when we walked out of the theater, talking about good actors. I was like, the cast was good.
James is questionable.
They did the best. James was the weakest part.
Yes.
He was the weakest one in terms of the actors. Hannah Emily Anderson, we came out of there like, did they just hire some distant relative of Salome? Like, she looks similar. And I think she had a good look for Mary. I feel like the attitude was flipped.
Yeah.
Where she was being really snippy with James. Like, James was talking to her during that little...
she made some little remarks.
Yeah, during that whole observation deck sequence. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you almost hit me with your car, and now you're giving me a hard time?
Yeah.
And it was like, that felt like a Maria line. That doesn't feel like a Mary line.
Mm-hmm. And then Maria's fairly soft-spoken.
And then Maria is kind of nicer and sweeter. Yeah. Like, she has her little flirtatious moments, but it's not that heavy-handed.
No.
And there's a lot of those aspects that they sort of just kind of like awkwardly glaze over. Like, they don't tell each other their names when they first meet. So they have to have a scene later where she's like, I never told you my name. It's Maria.
James, I think James tells her.
Yeah, but she never gives her name.
Yeah. And I think that was because of the whole, like, oh, Mary Crane, that's who you're looking. I think that was the whole point, is like,
why did they involve the Order in a plot that didn't need it? This could have been a production choice. This could have been
like that's
somebody saying, people who saw the first movie are going to expect a cult.
And I mean, the Order is also in 2. Like, the Order's always there.
Sure, but they are it's a background piece of world building in Silent Hill 2.
The part here, though, is this is a different sect. So it's kind of throwing in the idea that we get from 3 and 4, that there are multiple sects of this type of religion.
Yeah.
And this is one of them by a fellow named Crane.
Yes. It was originally Jacob Crane back when the first leaks for the script and movie started coming out, like years ago. It was originally Jacob Crane. They changed it to Joshua Crane, which I want to say that was one of the original ideas for James's name for the original Silent Hill 2. Where that was a proposed name for the character that just wound up changing. The New Order that uses Seal of Square-a-Sun. Yeah, so it was like combination, it's like those combination restaurants, your KFC, A&W. It was a combination, Seal of Metatron, Halo of the Sun. They show it on the little grate of the trap door that leads down into the cult sex orgy room. Okay. The cult blood sex orgy room.
What about Homecoming? Homecoming sewers?
No, we're talking about... Well, we haven't even gotten to Homecoming sewers yet. There's so much.
Anywho.
So intro sequence is supposed to be James meeting Mary by getting stoned, driving like an asshole, running over her suitcase,
and she
making her miss her bus. Her bus, that because Mary, in this version, lives in Silent Hill, and she was trying to escape it.
Obviously, we don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet, but she was trying to run away from her life in Silent Hill, which is when James meets her and ruins her life, makes her miss her bus, and then they decide to stay there.
Yeah.
Although it's not clear how much time passes. We sort of cut to them having the picnic, laying in the grass, where he's like, are you really scared about me moving in with you? And she's like, oh, there's parts of me you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Is the line.
No, like, they're not married. They're
not married.
Dating.
Yeah, which makes that whole conversation when Maria shows up very weird. Hearing them be like, it's your girlfriend? She's your girlfriend? Are you sure she's still your girlfriend? It's very weird hearing all of the my wife dialogue from the original sort of morphed into my girlfriend.
But
Blad, thank you so much for 100 months. Thank you.
But in between the intro and the Star Wars Episode 2 scene, because that's all that reminded me of.
Go explain.
It's the meme. Everybody knows the meme.
What scene?
The field scene. When they're all in the field. It's like, that's just Episode 2 again. Okay. But between all that is the club scene.
The don't like sand.
Yes.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and gets everywhere. Scene.
In tall grass.
I don't like fog.
But okay, so between those two scenes is our club, where we realize James is now a drunk.
Ziggy, don't jump on my computer. I see you thinking about it. So then we're in the club, where everyone is fam.
James is getting a phone call.
from M.
Right.
The mysterious therapist, Dr. M.
We were legit waiting for a Kaufman drop.
Yeah. I
100%. We were waiting for like a sudden thank you for helping me, Dr. A Kaufman drop.
There was a lot of things that kept happening where when we were talking about the movie beforehand, we were kind of giving some predictions of what we would see and things that would happen. We were expecting the name Kaufman
somewhere
in there. We were like, oh, there's going to be like the phone call or the message or these pills from Kaufman haven't been helping me at all.
Yeah.
Something like that. Never really happens. They don't really emphasize, for as much screen time as the therapist got,
we don't know much.
She was kind of exposition lady.
She's basically kind of like the Kaufman from
Shattered
Memories, where you just kind of have an intercut once in a while.
But then there was somewhere along the line, somebody watched like an early test screening, and they were like, this doesn't make any sense. We need to have a scene where the wise therapist lady explains to the random nurse, like, that's James Sunderland. Ever since his girlfriend died, he's lost his grip on reality.
Yeah.
It's been almost a year since I've been treating him. And like we got the whole plot explained by wise therapist lady.
Yeah. So, we hear good Silent Hill music in appropriate setting. The whole scuffle with James, he gets thrown out into the garbage. He answers therapist lady. And walks down a weird, creepy hallway.
Yep. Yeah, she's like, drink water and go to sleep, and I'll see you at your appointment tomorrow.
Yeah. And then, is this where we interject with the field? I can't remember. I just remember him in his apartment. We get the chair and the TV scene. That whole shot of the down shot with James.
Yeah.
The James figure in the chair and the TV's static. Which, yes. Okay, got it.
Trying to recreate these little things.
Another emphasis on the empty alcohol bottle. He throws it. I'm like, oh, there's a letter from Mary. And there it is.
We kept thinking there was going to be more with the letter.
I think I believe there probably was.
Well, I remember leading up to the film's release, there were so many fans that were upset with the trailers because the trailer showed the letter, and everyone was like, they changed the letter. Why did they change the letter? And we thought that was going to play into the film more. And they kind of barely show it.
Yeah. Well, Yoshio, they kind of do some very similar shit. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
100%, we're going to get to that. Because they definitely hint to a more Homecoming type situation at one point.
Some stuff definitely felt like that, Moogle. Like, it was change for the sake of change. Like, just make it different so that people aren't expecting what's already in the game. Yeah.
Oh God, let's not even go because that's gonna set me on.
We don't need to talk about Long Walk. We'll wait until we establish the movie discussion podcast.
Oh, that just put me in a mood. Okay.
If people enjoy this discussion enough, we'll start the movie discussion podcast as a separate channel. And we'll talk about the long walk. And we'll talk about the Long Walk another time because we've got a lot of thoughts on
God,
that.
no, I don't. Yoshio might remember. I think Yoshio was a part of that chat. Nobody in your chat was around for my 2-hour It thesis.
Yeah.
Angela, yes.
Angela was there.
Yes, so was her dad.
Okay, so going back to the film.
Okay.
So we have Star Wars. We have Final Destination. We have Jay and Silent Bob. That's the intro.
Right.
Weed, log truck, young love in a field.
Gross. Oh, that's also where we established her her nosebleeds. Which
was it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Because she gets him all the way on the ground and make it out, and then he gets blood on him.
We get a lovely, 2-minute sequence of James walking through woods while creepy sound effects are in the background. Yeah. That trail, like, descending into the town.
Now, one thing I noticed on that, I don't know if it's strictly just because of where they were as far as their filming, or if they were putting plants out on purpose.
Well, most of this was filmed in Serbia.
Did you see all the white flowers on the pathing?
Yeah.
And I wondered if that was if that was just naturally there, or if they actually thought to
reference something that resembled White Claudia, or could potentially be. And we thought they were going to get into that more later.
I still think that's what that syrup
whatever
is supposed to be.
The substance they're drinking is supposed to be. Stop it.
I 100% think that is where that was going, which is why I'm like, I wonder if those flowers were just there because they lived there already, or if they were
They tried to explain Mary's illness. They don't just try. They flat out give you
they tell you
a completely different explanation for the movie,
which ties into what we're talking about with
Angela,
the Aglophidus / whatever.
So I mean, I guess we're jumping ahead.
Well, that's okay.
But we get through the little walking through the trees segment, which I think would have been better if it had just been him walking and the ambient sound effects. But instead, we also have his really bad ADR
the
narration happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we wind up in the cemetery.
Well, even before that, title.
Oh, is the title drop before the cemetery?
It's as he's walking down the path and the camera pans up and it's just mountainous and it's like...
We both giggled at each other when the pan out from the hills in the background, those silent hills, and the gigantic Return to Silent Hill title creeps out from behind them.
Fuck's sake.
That felt really funny. There was so
that felt
many...
like Saturday morning cartoon levels of like introduction of the title.
That borders on parody.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it was making fun of that type of title drop in other things. It felt so weird. Mm-hmm. It was so out of place. It got a laugh out of both of us. So then we get to the cemetery, and Angela's there.
In some really baggy clothes.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, again, that could have been a Kristoff thing where he understood Angela. And the story arc for Angela is still kind of in line with what you would expect. It's just twisted a little bit.
It's twisted a lot, but...
I mean, you know what I mean, though. Like, there's still that aspect
the
that
element
we all
of
know.
abuse is there, and the idea that she is a victim of abuse, which is why she looks and dresses and acts.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like he may have put on, like, the really baggy clothes as more of that emphasis versus kind of the bulky sweater.
Angela is sandbagging. She was sandbagging.
Yeah.
She was picking up sandbags and putting them around the shore of the lake because apparently the lake has been flooding. Mm-hmm. She said there's been floods. That's another remake thing.
Yeah.
The water coming in up closer to the cemetery and the gravestones that were coming up out of the water. That's another thing that's not in the OG, that's in the remake, that showed up in this movie, that apparently started production before the remake. So I'm like, what?
I still think they gave...
Was it a reshoot, or did the production teams share information with each other?
That might be more likely.
While the movie and the game were being worked on?
And it lies, I think any early cuts they may have handed over... Because obviously Konami's going to want to review as it's going.
Sure.
So what if they're like calling in Bluebird folks as they're like, hey, we got a version of this that we need to review, come with us.
Yeah.
And get it, so you can kind of see what this is doing. That's also a viable possibility.
Which in-game ending comes closest to the movie ending?
I mean, it's in water.
No, it's...
/ loop theory.
It's loop theory into... Leave plus Maria? I mean, it's not Maria. It's Mary. It's Mary.
It's the happy ending.
But he's not, like, leaving... I was going to say he's not leaving with Laura, but I guess technically...
They're all the same...
Technically...
Spoiler! Big spoiler! They're all the same person!
So here's the big twist. Here's the big twist that we're dancing around during this discussion.
Fuck it. Let's just get it out so it makes it easier.
Mary Angela Laura Crane. Her full name is Mary Angela, Laura, Crane. They're all the same person. They're all the same person.
So
Laura is like child Mary, quote unquote child Mary.
With a really, really creepy thing.
Angela is like slightly older Mary.
That would be like, I think that's supposed to be like teenage Mary.
Teenage, like Angela, 17, 18.
I feel like they kept it's parallel. They kept that right.
Trust me, Terry, I'm familiar. That theory is one of the oldest theories. The theory of all of the characters are just aspects of James or aspects of Mary goes all the way back to like 2001, 2002. Fans discussed the shit out of that. So much so that Masahiro Ito has gone on record multiple times to say, you fucking idiots. They are meant to be real, tangible, separate characters. I know we confused you by putting Maria in there, who is not a real person, but the other characters are meant to be real people. It still confuses people to this day.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, one of those theories that people come to their own conclusion on.
And then they find their peoples online who are also of that same conclusion despite everything else, and it's just a whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So in terms of like the ending, I guess technically he gets in a car and leaves with Laura Maria / Mary / Angela, because they're all the same person. So they just leave. They share a joint and speed off, and he immediately like peels out in his Ford Mustang, swerving back and forth. And
then we see Silent Hill, the resort town,
and then
bright and happy.
Yeah, Silent Hill, the resort town. Honestly, I wish there was more of that in the games. That's an aspect of Silent Hill that I've always wanted to see, is what it is like to your average tourist.
Yeah.
And I do like little glimpses of what that could have potentially looked like. Again, it feels like a waste seeing those things used in this movie that is not trying for accuracy whatsoever.
Right.
Because in an otherwise accurately created adaptation, those would have been some really interesting scenes that actually like add to some of the story and the context.
Right.
It's showing us things that we never got to see in the games.
Yeah. But we knew it was a thing because you read about it and hear about it, depending on what game you're playing.
Oh, hey, this song. This one's in the movie.
Yeah, it is.
I just have like a random Silent Hill music playlist going. We're going to see how many of these pop up in the movie. This one does. Mm-hmm. But, so yeah. So Angela,
so she's doing her sandbag. And that does make an interesting point though, because remember, he's like, I'm trying to go find this girl, and she's like, well, if you don't find her, come back here and find me. So that's an interesting, like. So
that was before Laura. That was when he was
that's what I'm saying with Angela. She literally tells him, "Hey, if you can't find this person,
if you can't find
come
Mary,
back here.
Yeah,
and I'll be here." Every iteration of her has been like, "Come find me. If you don't find her, come find me."
Yes, and I mean, I get what they're doing, but before we had the context of them all being the same person, that felt just weird. So weird having a character like Angela be like, "Hey, you man, I just met. Come find me later."
But she also still has that aversion.
Thing. That's like the last thing that Angela would ever want.
And again, you have that too. She still gets that aversion. She's like, don't, you see her pull away from James too. Like, so that happens. She kind of looks like Dark Alessa from the second movie, talks like Anna from the first movie.
She looks like one of the cultists. Mm-hmm. The way the hair and the makeup are done.
Everybody's hair is fucked in this.
Everyone's hair looks terrible. All of the wigs are awful. Everyone's wig looks terrible. People were so hyper-focused on
what about
Maria.
The beard?
The beard was even worse. When we cut back to the scene again, we're jumping ahead, but when we cut to that scene of James in his depressive artist stage,
his layers of fear moment,
his layers of fear stage, where he's quote unquote grown his beard out. Okay, I compared it to something when I was explaining it to Rachel, and for my fellow Trekkie fans out there, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's like the episode where Data decides to get a beard in The Next Generation in Star Trek. Basically, I can't remember exactly what episode that is, what season that is, but it's shortly after Riker starts showing up with a beard. So I think it's like season 2, season 3. And basically, like, Riker has a beard, so then Data wants a beard. And Data has like a fake beard. They put a fake beard on Brent Spiner, and it looks terrible. And it works because he's an android, and none of that stuff is supposed to be, perfectly lifelike. But that's what James's beard reminded me of when we cut to that scene. I was like, he looks like...
And it made him look like Zach Galifianakis.
He looked like Zach Galifianakis and mixed with Data. And, yeah. The wigs were bad. The fake beard was bad. Costumes, for the most part, looked pretty good. Yeah. James, obviously, not very accurate, but...
he's modern.
Sure.
I mean, he's got a cell phone.
If it was a Downpour movie, he would have made a killer Murphy Pendleton. Mm-hmm.
I mean, his outfit kind of reminded me of the one they put Reedus in for PT, but...
It also did. It kind of gave some Norman Reedus PT vibes.
Especially that jacket with the way the sleeves stood. They kept Mary in a lot of florals. Oh!
She was in flower and butterfly print.
And Laura's in floral print.
Yes.
The only one who's not is Angela, and she's emo.
And she's emo.
It makes sense.
Yeah. They definitely try to nail that home. They pull off... Okay, I'm trying to think. So, James leaves Angela in the cemetery. He goes...
No, this is where we get the field scene, because he's in front of the green screen church. Which
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you between, like, the green screen version and an actual version that they were at. So I don't know what happened there.
Right.
But, yeah, then he has the flashback because he was painting her in looking profile and the church in the background. Yeah, he paints.
Yeah.
Then we get the whole scene about moving in and then her nose bleeds and all that.
Right.
Okay.
So then James decides he's going to go into town either way. He doesn't care if it's dangerous or not. He doesn't say that.
So after
but it's implied.
So after getting the letter, he takes off in his car. We get the welcome to...
Oh, yeah, the welcome to sign. Okay, I was like, oh, look at that. Look how well recreated again. It felt like a wasted set for something that was not trying to be an accurate adaptation. Recreating the welcome chain link fence with the letters that have fallen down. For anybody who caught it, Brahms was like 256 miles away. It was like, OG Brahms is way too far away than it's supposed to be on the sign. So that was all these little details where it's like, damn, you got all these little details and camera angles and things like perfectly right, and then just ignored all of the major plot points and character traits.
Yeah.
While focusing on making these little details accurate. Every time I saw those kind of things, I mean, I was like, hey, look at that. Look how cool that looks. They got the sign there. Brahms is 256 miles away.
That's all cut off. So he then goes and parks at the Overlook and stays in his car because it's storming. Wakes up the next morning, goes into the bathroom where we get that whole sequence.
Yeah.
With remake Roach.
The remake PT Roach.
So go through all that. Then we go down the path. Then we get title sequence. So after we come off the path.
That's a homeless man.
Yeah, there's a homeless man.
That's the homeless man in the tunnel.
Where the lying figure should have been. If you're giving a game perspective of where we're at. essentially.
Well, first we get some shots of James
just walking around town.
I like the bird's eye overhead view. He stops and looks in the flower shop.
Yeah,
he looks through the window. So it's like these little somewhat recognizable locations that they don't actually go into or explore, but for fans, you're going to be like, hey, look, he stops and looks in the flower shop. Again, from a cinematography standpoint, the shots of James walking through the town and being like, I don't get it. Everything's fucked up. Why is it like this?
Yeah.
Good shots. Good stuff kind of establishing the town. Really good recreation considering this was shot, again, mostly in Serbia. And they recreated those streets to look a lot like the Toronto, not Toronto, but the Canada sets where they and locations where they shot the first movie.
And then added to it.
Brantford, thank you. But it felt like that same town. Like there was some consistency.
The one thing that bothered me...
Until you get to the giant Brookhaven.
No. I mentioned something that bothered me to you. I don't know if you remember. Because he walks in and there's the iconic Silent Hill, Welcome to Silent Hill sign. Why were those lights so fucking shiny on it?
Oh, because it was brand new. Because it's CG.
Because if you look at the original, it's rusty, it's gross. And that sign does not look in the best condition, but them lights, and it's brand new.
And it's in a different part of the town and on the opposite side of the street. Not that they're going to care about any of that accuracy. But, sorry, I'm eating pizza. But it was there. The Silent Hill sign was there. Shiny and brand new.
Fucking lights just, okay. That took me out for a hot minute. Because I was like, that just don't make sense. Or maybe it was the imagery of the lights were new because he's trying to shine. Fuck it.
Well, it is all in James's head, so yeah. You can't just use that as a blanket excuse for everything.
So we walk around town. He hears music from somewhere. Follows it. And we go to an overpass alcove something. Where you would, in game, see the lying figure, the first one. And
hey, we immediately recognized the setup. Yeah. The little arch leading into the tunnel.
That's what I'm saying. I can describe it in game, and you're going to know exactly what we saw as far as, like, the set. It's a homeless dude, though, with things crawling on him. CG things, but things. And that's kind of our clue into the radio situation, because James storms off after jump scare. And the dude's crawling after him for some reason.
Yeah.
And then the radio starts really going haywire. And I think the guy even tells him, hey, you know, they're coming or something like that. He gives him a warning.
Yeah, he starts being like, they're coming, the darkness, something.
And then we see a creature for a split second. And then we cut away. And then they're screaming. Like, I know I'm fast forwarding, but not a lot. Just running's happening for the most part.
Oh my god, that was our first real good laugh when he throws the pipe.
Oh god, yeah. So we hear the screams. He hears the screams. He runs back to the homeless man. Homeless man's melting, which, if you remember from the first movie, is a thing that the patient demons / lying figures, depending on whose first experience is what. I'll just use both.
There's also Revelations, the homeless man with the Stitch face.
True.
Who's like,
But it's one of those, but this movie's version of it, but because, if you watch the first one, the black goop that they shoot out of their chesty holes corrodes, melts, whatever.
And basically still functions the same.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. But if you watch the first movie, you know, like, when you see the homeless man, like, melting, you already know what's happened. And then they do a whole fight with it, with James, so that if you didn't, for some reason, watch the first movie, you know what happened to homeless man. That's your first real gore shot with his face melting. So So yeah, then James is like, what the fuck's happening? The radio goes crazy again. And the new version of these things walks out.
Yeah.
And I, for the record, I only ever watched the very first trailer that dropped for this. I have stayed clear of everything posted in the Discord. I've watched no other trailers. I've seen no production shots. I kept myself pretty much away from this, so I didn't know anything about anything. And I think you mentioned how you didn't like the redesign. I'm like, well, I don't know what they look like. And all you do is describe that they had like their arms, elbows touching behind their back. And I'm like, oh, I know why they did that. That's to thrust the chest forward. And they are, I didn't know they were going to be feminine figured like they were, but they were.
They're definitely emphasizing the
like,
sexualized aspect.
I get that.
More than the lying figures were in the original.
But they didn't look great.
No.
Especially that one that was towards the end ran off and you can see like the skin scratching across its ass crack.
Yeah, there's a shot where you can see the suit like wrinkling up.
Yeah, and it's right in the butt crack and it's oh my god, that has got to be like.
And again, props to them for having a person in a suit doing physical stunts and physical acting for these shots that could have just been straight up CG.
Straight CG. Yeah. They have one close up of its face. One of those faces that's bad CG at the beginning, but yeah, you just see the wrinkles in the ass crack, and I'm like, oh, that looks uncomfortable.
It needed more time to bake? No, I think it got burned in the oven.
That's the problem. I think too many people were putting it back.
There was too many people in the kitchen, and I think they forgot about it while focusing on other shit, and it burned up in the oven. I think it got cooked a little too much.
So, anyway, yeah, that one shows up, spits its scoop at James, and it hits the pipes behind him. He's picked up, like, a small piece of pipe and just fucking, yeets it right at the thing's head. And he's hungover.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this man is hungover.
He's drunk, he's maybe a little stoned, and there's a weird monster thing. Yeah, throw the pipe. Throw the pipe right at that fucking thing's head. And it makes a comical, bank, like the metal clank sound effect.
And then we watch it, do the thing where it goes under the van, and then it goes down into a whole manhole.
That makes sense. You got lying figures crawling under the cars in the original.
And you could tell that was a person, too, with the way the feet were moving. So, yeah. So that happens, and then the bugs start. Those wonderful bugs from the first movie.
And they managed to make them look even worse. It was already not very good looking, the human face bugs from the first movie. The CG bugs definitely looked cheaper in this one.
Yeah, we get our first siren. Also like the first movie, when the siren pops off, all the birds fly. So we still have that presence that kind of nods back.
The bird CG also didn't look good.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you picked up on that.
But. No, but I mean, I knew what they were doing. That was more or less what I was paying attention. Like, oh, they're doing that again. Okay. The sequencing is kind of like what happens in the bathroom with the janitor creature when he touches the wall and you see it like sprout out. Mm-hmm. So you see that a lot. And then it turns red, orange.
It reminded me of the first Silent Hill movie when Rhoda Mitchell gets stabbed.
Yeah, it's that same. Yeah.
And all the darkness starts spilling out of her and spreading. That
same kind of effect. Which there's a lot that when you start looking, there's a lot of reused stuff that they did. Same sequencing shots.
We want to go back and check, but we think they may have reused some actual shots from the first movie.
Mainly the elevator.
The elevator. When we saw that elevator shot, we're like, is this the same shot from the first movie?
I think it is, just the color.
Of the elevator going down the shaft. When
it's the same camera angle.
Because we just rewatched the first movie. We
literally, when we had that winter storm a weekend ago, we were like, I was like, fuck it, we're gonna go see this in a week. I haven't watched it in a while. We watched it.
Yeah, and I've watched it within the last month because I've been working on the Silent Hill 1 iceberg video, and that features a few points where I talk about stuff from the movie. So I've been rewatching. I had already been rewatching the first Silent Hill movie while I worked on the Iceberg to get all these little bits and clips and stuff that I needed for that. And then we rewatched it again last weekend.
Because like I said, I hadn't seen it in a hot minute. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I was crocheting, I think. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and
So some of that stuff, like the elevator scene, kind of really stuck out to us where we're like, that looks like this, almost the same shot.
Yeah, and I don't like that when it happens in movies. That throws me off. It's like seeing a bunch of reused assets within the 3 games. You're just like, okay, I'm done with this shit.
Although that, in the original movie, is a comical moment that I always laugh at.
Yeah, you do. Where Roddy is just screaming, no.
Well, it's funny to me because it feels like the shot goes on for too long.
It does.
Because it's this really intense, the elevator's going so fast and it's shaky and it's sparking, and it cuts to the inside of the elevator and Rhoda Mitchell is like, no! And then she stops screaming.
It just
and the shot stays on
her. That's a Danzig shot.
It stays on her while she sits there in the elevator, still falling, but I guess she ran out of breath. Like, she couldn't keep
That's
screaming.
Such a Danzig shot. That's not even funny.
That is one of those shots that where you're like, and cut? Like, why is this still going? It should have cut, like, with her scream ending. And then you go back to, like, the exterior shot of the elevator still falling. Anyway, we're talking about the first movie.
Well, so where were we? So we see the whole change sequence. Everything turns rusty. Bugs are underneath the grated floor. That's also rusty. So he takes off running, and it's just, James being chased by waves of ugly bugs. Actually, we missed a sequence, didn't we? Or is it after the bugs?
Probably. We're gonna have to buy this movie when it comes out and watch it and give closer analysis.
No, we did miss the Heaven's Night. It was earlier. Because he calls his therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever she is. They are. Because that's right after he runs into the homeless guy, I think. And weird shit's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm not going to go. And, this is my home or something. Or she's like, no, that's not your home anymore. And then I think the Heaven's Night sign comes on. Yeah, okay. I was like, I think my sequencing's getting back in order. So we go into Heaven's Night, and it's classy. That ain't no strip club.
Heaven's Night was a full-blown nightclub, yeah.
And we get an interesting cast of characters wherein the surviving twins from The Shining show up. I'm sorry. They do the sequencing of the characters, and there's these 2 girls who look like twins, and they're wearing a blue dress with white collar. They look like they belong in The fucking Shining.
Yeah, we looked at each other, and Rachel was like, well, the Shining twins grew up. Like, what the fuck was this scene? And then you never see them again. I think you see them for like a second in the orgy.
The orgy, and they might be in the room when they're having the discussion with Mary, but, like...
I keep calling it an orgy. Maybe I'm brainwashed from Silent Hill Ascension.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. They were all clothed. But,
also, fuck this movie for making me think about Silent Hill Ascension.
Yeah.
It was a very Ascension-like cult.
It was. So we meet our cast of cultists. Which, obviously, there's something weird happening because they're praising Mary about this, and this. Which basically, again, I think she's held... So I think in this sect of the religion, she's held to a lesser status. Is what I think the whole situation is with her.
It would be nice to fucking know that. That is one thing, if they're going to include... See, we don't know. We don't know the Hill is Silent. What drug were they even giving her?
I assumed it was White Claudia.
It seems like the implication is that it's White Claudia. When they show the shot of her actually drinking it, it looks like a Glophitis.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also something that a lot of people mix up all the time. So I can understand they were doing something else. But it never gets specified. This was something that I started... She's basically Alessa in this film?
That's what I say. She is this sex Alessa. That's all it is.
Maybe choke on my food. The sex Alessa. I don't like...
Sect! A religious sect!
No, that's not what I heard.
God damn it. did. He had a piece of pizza in his mouth and it like flew out.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to fucking turn into Zap Brannigan talking about your sexlexia.
Oh,
it's a very sexy disorder. Jesus.
But no, this is the Crane version of the one from... Because there was the Crane version and then Christabella's, whatever her family's version is, the Gillespies. I think they're two things that are from the same religion, but they have their own thing. And with her having the family name of Crane...
The Crane family.
She clearly is of that status to them, but they take it to a different level. She didn't get burnt, she had other shit going on.
They just drugged her, which they gave an explanation for that. They're like, the drug took away your free will.
Like, that is specific. And how the doctor would fucking know something like that?
That seems like a really specific symptom. That does seem like a really...
When he
like,
said
how do you
that,
test,
I said, I'm like, how the fuck do you know that?
How do you test for that? But apparently the plot is Mary Crane, living and born and raised in Silent Hill, daughter of this cult leader, Joshua Crane. Joshua Shepherd. They just mixed everything up. They just got confused. It's okay.
There's a lot of Homecoming in this movie.
There was in the original, too. I mean, the original's what inspired Homecoming, and now it's come full circle.
Yeah, because...
It's like a loop. It's like a loop theory.
God almighty.
We're going to get into that. But, yeah. That whole aspect of it was weird. The fact that they were just drugging her whole life, and every once in a while had a cult blood
something
orgy,
blood feast. I don't know, but yeah. So, anywho,
I like that James solved a little puzzle. When he's looking for her, he's stalking Mary. So Mary goes off with her cult friends. That was also like, I think that's after we're skipping the scene where James comes home and there's 20 cultists sitting in his living room.
Yeah.
And he's, being very polite. And then everyone leaves and he goes, "What the fuck was that?"
And they're all basically saying he cannot be one of us.
Yeah. Again, that is literally Silent Hill Ascension. That's like Eric coming home to Rachel and Rachel being like, "These people are my family." And Eric being like, "All 20 of them?"
Mm-hmm.
It was literally a Silent Hill Ascension. This was the Ascension movie. But more entertaining. It was definitely more entertaining than Ascension.
And obviously, we're starting to understand this is a point that is going to be a point of contention with them. So they're already setting that stage up a little bit.
Yeah. But James comes home and gets in a fight with Mary because Mary's like, "Hey, these cultists are my family. And they're all I've ever had." And James is like, "I don't care. Fuck you." And Mary leaves. And then he's stalking her through the streets of Silent Hill. And follows her into the alleyway where he has to solve a puzzle.
Can I say something about that? Which was a little weird to me. So, if you know anything about resort towns, Silent Hill being one, winter is usually not that busy.
Well, I do know a thing or two about resort towns in Maine because I've been to several.
Yeah. Were they that busy?
I spent a particular week in Freeport, Maine, which is a little bit of a touristy small, like it's one of the closest things to a Silent Hill type of town that you can possibly get in real life. Freeport, Maine. And I went there many years ago for my sister's graduation. But we spent like a week there. And it was the middle of January, so it was cold, it was snowy. It was like very Silent Hilly. You know what they don't have there is like 16-story hospitals.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Stuff like that felt really out of place. It's always really funny when they talk about this Silent Hill being this little tourist town in Maine, and then they have like these gigantic buildings. Downpour does the same thing. I have the same complaint about the way they show the town in Downpour, where it's like, this looks like a fucking big city in the middle of like the Czech Republic.
We got this big ass like clock tower.
This doesn't look like a small tourist town in Maine by any stretch of the imagination.
So, anyway, back to being chased by all the bugs. That's how we get to Woodside.
Yeah, so he manages to escape the bugs by getting into Woodside,
and we get the door.
Yeah, he bars the door with the wooden plank with nails, and the camera focused so hard on the wooden plank. Yep. I leaned over to Rachel and I was like, "There's the wooden plank." He never fucking swings it. He doesn't throw it at anybody's head. I kept waiting for it to become a weapon.
No, it just keeps the bugs out.
It's just.
Then we get our first big jump scare.
And the terrible CG of all of the bugs on the glass doors.
Yeah, that was so bad.
It's bad enough seeing the bugs when they were like crawling around, but at least you could hide them with camera movement and lighting. When it's just like the flat shot of all of the bugs on the door, that looked so bad.
Yeah. But then we get a jump scare. He goes to the staircase. Oh, God. Indigestion. And we get a Bloody Mary face.
Oh, yeah.
And a loud sound. Like the quintessential, I fucking hate that type of jump scare.
The most goofy ass just jump scare. Just blatant.
Yeah.
Turn around.
That's not a Kristoff thing. That was one of them other motherfuckers. That's like, this is supposed to be a horror movie.
That was a tribute to Samuel Hadida.
But, so that's happening. And then you hear her say his name, and then she pulls a fucking Lisa from PT. And, like, it's just this creepy pale figure that just backs into the shadows. And I'm like, okay, whatever, man. So he's going around Woodside, and this is where we start getting that cutback to show that he was moving in to her Woodside apartment. He lived here with Mary.
Yeah, we get a wonderful shot where he's carried up all of his stuff, like 3 floors.
Yes.
And then left it in the hallway while he's making multiple trips. Like
I don't understand.
I don't know what the context of their game plan was for moving in. Like, who moves in like that? Mm-hmm. Just leaves a bunch of their shit out in the hallway of an apartment building. And he's like, man, I can't believe how much stuff I've got. Although, to be fair, I 100% understand that feeling. When we moved out of our old house.
Yeah, it's like, where the fuck did all this come from?
I can remember when we moved out of our old house and we went to go stay with your parents while we were looking for this house to buy a new house.
Yeah.
And we had to move all of our stuff that wouldn't fit in the storage unit over to her parents' house. And I basically wound up doing most of that myself.
Yeah, because I had to go to bed because I had work.
Yeah, you had work, and I can just remember it was like 2 a.m., and I got there loudly unloading the car, and Rachel's stepdad came out and was like, you're causing so much noise. How much more of this do you have to unload? And I'm like, I've got at least 3 more trips. We have so much stuff. Yeah. We have so much stuff we have to get out of the house. He's like, God damn it. But I understand that feeling of James being like, I can't believe how much stuff I've got.
So that's how we understand, he is now officially moved in with her. They lived in this area. That's why he's visiting it again. He walks around with the reddish, Deadly Premonition-y looking light outside. Mm-hmm. All the windows, you pointed it out, are all 9 by...
red squares.
They're all squares, red squares. Like
it was not even a 3x3. No. It was a 4x3. They added too many red squares, but there was red squares.
Yeah, all the windows.
The save point windows, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kind of going through. We do meet Eddie throwing up in the bathroom, and
Eddie's
in
butt
loving,
crack.
Across the screen homage to the game proper, we get Eddie's fucking butt crack.
We get Eddie's ass crack in all of its glory. Again, they like recreate all these little details. Like they recreate the bathroom and the cinematography of James and Eddie, like
doing the cut back and
doing
forth.
the cut back and forth, and obviously the dialogue is completely different.
Because Eddie's completely different.
Why was Eddie throwing up?
We don't know.
We never get any sort of implication.
He's sick. He mentions like everybody there's sick.
Oh, right.
And then you see his arm,
because he shows James his arm, his armpit, and he's like, "Check out this! Look how gross this is."
And that's whatever the symptom of this town is that's happening. So I'm guessing it's probably that.
Yeah, it's not Eddie throwing up over having murdered somebody. Mm-hmm. They don't have that aspect of his character because we have to speed run through Eddie's character arc because Eddie has 2 minutes of screen time and then just runs out of the movie. He just leaves the fucking film.
Yeah.
He's there for the bathroom scene, and then he's like, all right, I'll hang out with you, James. And they walk down one hallway together where they run into Laura on the other side of the bars. And James is like trying to get Laura to come out, and Laura's scared, and Eddie's being
a prick.
He's being weird about it, and James calls Eddie an asshole. So Eddie
kicks the shit out of him.
Eddie kicks James in the stomach, and then like starts punching him in the head.
And then Pyramid Head shows up.
You motherfucker, cocksucker, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
He was like, what did you call me? You call me an asshole? I'll give you a fucking wet willy. I'll give you a noogie. And he beats the shit out of James. And then they start hearing Pyramid Head approach.
And Eddie knows what that is.
And Eddie recognizes it and goes, oh, you woke him up, Jimmy boy. You woke him up. And then he runs out of the movie. Then he leaves the film. He's no longer.
He does yell. He tells Laura, "Get out, kid."
Oh yeah, he tells Laura, "Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
And then he just runs around the hallway and leaves. And he's never seen again.
And then comes the part where we were both just fucking dying laughing, like.
Oh my god.
I was losing my shit.
The Pyramid Head introduction scene, one of the most iconic and creepy scenes. One of the things that I was the most happy about Silent Hill 2 Remake... Oh, we did forget the videotape TV scene. We'll try and get back to it, Terry. There's so much that we're trying to talk about. But, oh my god. The scene of... Oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. Like, there's too many things.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
Sorry, I haven't smoked enough weed and driven around in my Mustang today. My brain's all scattered.
Are we talking about like where he's just standing behind the bars? That scene in the game?
Yes, that's what I started talking about. One of the things that I like the most about Silent Hill 2 Original and Silent Hill 2 Remake is how iconic that scene of your first introduction to Pyramid Head on the other side of those bars.
Yeah.
Where it's such an iconic image, it's so creepy, he's just standing there menacingly, but it's enough that it stays with you. A lot of people will really remember that scene from the original, and I saw a lot of people who played the remake as their first introduction to Silent Hill have that same reaction where they're like, oh shit,
because you really don't know what's about to happen.
You don't know.
Is this fucker coming after me?
Exactly.
What is this? Why is it here?
So the movie's take on that scene is to have Pyramid Head
try and just bowl his way through.
He starts reaching his arm
and
through
making the most
obnoxious
grunting sound.
And he starts grunting and moaning. And Pyramid Head having a voice to be like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr,
yeah,
as he's trying to reach through the bars, and he's like smashing his head into the bars to separate them.
Jesus.
And the whole time, he's just making those grunting sounds. It's so fucking funny. Yeah,
we were both.
We were dying laughing, and at this point, I think we started hearing other people in the theater. We only had like 8 people in our theater.
That's with us,
including us. And we were not the only ones laughing as this shit happened on the screen. So at the very least, we know that was a thing. At the very least, it wasn't just us.
Right. And then, right before all this happens, James enters into a room. There's a TV that's on static and a bunch of videotapes laying around. He gets a massive headache and pulls a Henry Townsend.
Oh, my head.
And we get weird flashes of people being bloody. Which, obviously, when you know the twist ending, that it's all in his head. These are clearly memories and blah, blah, blah.
It would be like Michael Myers making noise. That's what I said. It reminds me of Dead by Daylight. Because...
he does in that one. Mm-hmm. Because I remember the first time I'm like, why did he make a noise? And I'm like, I guess for game purposes, you've got to know that you hit...
Yes.
You need a sound to let you know you succeeded the stun.
You hit the stun. There needs to be the audio feedback that you know that you got the pallet stun in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
So you have characters like Michael Myers getting hit with a bit of wood on their head and going, oh. That's what the Pyramid Head grunting reminded me of. It sounded like Dead by Daylight pallet stun sounds.
Yeah. Which Mary's hospital form is basically a reskinned Alessa from the first movie.
Yeah, it almost looked like the same prosthetics.
Yeah, just it wasn't gooey. Get out of my pizza! Oh my god.
You do not need pizza, Vinny.
He's opening the box. Somebody laughed when his cell phone died, too. I remember hearing that.
Oh, yeah. I laughed.
And some of my high just laughed, too. When that happened.
Not just the cell phone losing charge, but him tapping it against his hand like it was a flashlight that won't turn on.
Right.
That was the part that made me laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The problem is, though, the moths look terrible. Those were bad CG moths.
The CG moths looked absolutely bad. Really bad. Yeah, they showed the Mary dress on the mannequin, and they did such a bad job of establishing Mary up to that point that they have to do a cut to show Mary in the dress in a brief flashback.
Yeah.
So that you know the significance of the mannequin. Like, you could have had more scenes. You could have had the scene where, like, James and Mary bought that dress while they were walking around the town together and, oh, I love it. It's my favorite thing. I'll wear it whenever we... No. We never establish it that well. So the black dress on the mannequin, we had to have a separate little cutaway shot of, like...
everything floral is Mary.
Look, Mary wore this. Anyway, back to your mannequin.
So we go through that sequence. I think I blanked somewhere around here for a hot second.
Well, isn't that the mannequin? Is that the booty mannequin?
No, that one comes later because it's laying in the hallway. And it's like got its arms around itself and then it turns its head to look at him. And he's like, Mary, and then the head falls off. And somebody started laughing at that too. Behind us.
Yeah.
That's why I can't remember because I was listening to people like laugh.
Other people in the theater started laughing when the head started rolling towards James.
And then it turns into Booty Spider.
Booty Spider, it's essentially the spider mannequin from Revelations. Just more booty.
Yeah.
More booty.
More normal legs, spider legs.
The mannequin's booty was far too well animated. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was the most animated CG thing in the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even more than Moth Mary.
Mm-hmm. So there's like a chase sequence essentially. James trying to figure out how the fuck to get away from this thing. And I'm like, this is where we get our closet. And he goes into a closet. And I'm like, here we go. And then we get kaiju fight.
Oh my god. So again, reminded me of Silent Hill Ascension.
Oh my god.
One of the Silent Hill Ascension monsters, the not air screamer from Silent Hill Ascension. It has an animation where it attacks people, where it like latches onto them with the bottom legs, and then like quickly stabs with left and right. And when the spider mannequin started doing that to Pyramid Head, I was laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah, and then he basically throws it on a table, and then Dave Waskovich is it.
Oh my god. That was what made it so hard to stop laughing. I was already laughing really hard at the mannequin booty spider lady jumping on Pyramid Head and
doing its thing.
And poking him. But then seeing Pyramid Head like WWE slam it down onto the table and just start punching it in its butt and on its back, and like not even really in an impactful way. Like you weren't seeing like these hits like breaking it apart and busting it open or anything.
I think that's a problem with just you had an actor who was trying to do this, but I don't know if he was well directed on what exactly he was supposed to be doing.
But okay, so this sort of plays into how we feel about this movie. We watch bad movies for fun.
Yes.
For fun and for entertainment. We watch bad movies. We can get a lot of enjoyment out of bad movies.
Oh, yeah.
And one of our favorite bad movie directors is a man named David Waskovich, who has made such classics as Suburban Sasquatch, Fungicide, and Tartarus. Specifically Tartarus. So in Tartarus, it's about this guy named John who's an asshole and gets abducted by aliens. Not really.
Basically, he's in purgatory, which is also known as Tartarus. And he's being put through all these situations where he's supposed to do better than he did in real life because he's dead. And he's being tortured on and off. It's hilarious.
But part of his never-ending torment
is a guy in an alien mask.
Is Dave Waskovich,
Waskovich,
the director, wearing a dollar store alien Halloween costume, and he's torturing John by putting him on a hospital table and just punching him. And it reminded me of that. Mm-hmm. Seeing Pyramid Head punching Spider Booty mannequin lady. It brought to mind Tartarus by David Waskovich. And
that's not something that should be happening.
No, that's not what I went into this film expecting, and I was having to cover my mouth so I don't just laugh out loud in the theater.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It was so funny. I wonder if that's on YouTube or something.
But that happens, and then they actually recreate from the game where Pyramid Head grabs the mannequin's leg in the game, this thing's leg in the movie, and pulls it, and it's like almost a good shot for shot of this little snippet right before Pyramid Head goes and starts investigating the closet. In the game, James shoots him, and he backs off. In this one, that don't happen. He opens the closet door, and there's like this whole ass like alien moment. You got James cowering on the floor, and Pyramid Head is just, his helmet's just getting ever so closer to James's face. And then a really stupid thing happens. Where the thing has punctured, the spider thingy has punctured the helmet. We get a look into the helmet while the siren's going off, which means James's head is exploding. But likewise, if you already didn't get this hit, Pyramid Head is holding his head while the siren is going off and making screamy, moany sounds very akin to James. So if this is not enough of a tip-off, they then show a shot into a hole in his helmet, and we see very clearly James's eye. So, you know, at that point, I just leaned over. I'm like, pretty on the nose, huh?
Sorry, I found
Tartarus.
And I'm trying to remember where the punching scene is. I think it's around here. Or is it when he gets abducted the second time?
I don't know. I don't remember. I thought he was wearing his clothes.
I thought he was wearing his clothes. I don't think it happens when they suck all of his ball blood out. Yep, there it is. That's why I have not put this on window capture yet.
Oh, that might have been it right there, actually, with his chest. Or is he doing the... I don't remember. It's been a while since we've actually watched Tartarus.
Yeah.
I suppose you might have to mute it and just let it run for a second, see. But, yeah, so there's the whole, like, thing where you're like, okay, well, clearly we understand James is Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is James.
They make that as clear as possible. They do, like, the hyper zoom into the helmet to show that it's James inside.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I guess we'll have to backtrack a second. During the TV room, where the memories are videotapes, I think it was towards the beginning, James tries to call his therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever. And that's when the phone dies. But she knows where he's at, and she makes a call to have someone do a wellness check on him.
Here it is.
Oh, okay. We found it. Well, he found it. I'm just sitting here shooting the shit.
Hold on. I need other people to understand the Tartarus reference. Where's my fucking... There.
I say you had it on like full screen.
So this is Tartarus. This is what I was thinking of the whole time Pyramid Head was punching the mannequin butt monster. Okay. That's all.
Yeah. And we highly do recommend watching those movies if you like bad movies.
If you like bad movies.
So therapist called. Okay, all that. So yeah, after the siren, of course, things go back to being, I guess, quote unquote normal. And then don't we just hard cut to fucking Evie being on the wall?
Yes.
Like, just suddenly, oh, there's Evie on a wall.
And he's like, how did you get up there? And she doesn't answer. She just says there was a monster crawling around on the ground. I was scared, so I'm up here, where he can't get me.
And she's got a creepy-ass doll thing.
That never gets explained.
No.
She just has it.
Maybe it's baby.
Angela? Oh, is the Angela mirror scene first? He comes out of the closet into the Angela.
Oh, that's right. It's still a hard cut, whatever
it
is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, oh. That's happening. How did we get here? That's why I'm confusing. That happens a lot.
Yeah, stuff just kind of happens.
Yeah. It's like we just
James doesn't have a whole lot of direction for where he's going or what he's doing.
But, I mean...
Again, the Angela scene, the cinematography.
Yeah.
Where the camera was panning back and forth and switching between the reflection and then, like, filming them directly. Wonderful camera work.
Couldn't use the theme, though.
No, because we ruined where we used
the
that
shit
music.
out of it in the first one.
And they still used it in this one anyway.
Just not where it belongs.
They just waited and used it later.
But you still get the same idea, you know. it hammers home a little bit more about who Angela is, and then you do get a freak out sequence where she's like, I'm not gonna let anybody touch me ever again.
Yeah.
So, we're still on that.
Performance was fine.
Yeah.
Angela's makeup and hair was distracting.
Yeah, like I said, it just whatever.
More like instead of just an abuse victim, they made her look like Dahlia in the first movie, where she was like, you've been outside covered in the ashes and everything, and your hair's all fucked up.
Yeah. So, yeah, all that happens. Again, the wall that Evie's on looks great.
The wall was like exact. Some of those sets and locations, again,
they did a good job.
They recreated a lot of that stuff really great. It's a shame they didn't try to make an accurate adaptation of Silent Hill 2. Because the pieces were there.
Yeah.
The pieces and parts were all there.
Yeah, and
Laura's demon fetus baby doll was my favorite bit. I mean, she was
come on, buddy,
running around with her creepy doll. She's like, my baby's sad.
Yeah. So then we have a chase sequence.
Do we even touch on how it's Ash again, or did we just no? They completely retcon that. There's
the
no
forests
there's
are on fire.
There's no mention of the burning of Alessa or the coal mine fires or anything like that set up the Ash, which means they could have just not had Ash.
They could have made it snow because clearly
but
it snows
that
there.
Again felt like a studio roundtable decision of people will recognize things from the first movie, and we have to put those things in this movie.
Well, the ash is because Angela talks about there's a forest fire going.
The ash is there because the fucking Lakeview is on fire.
Well, it was initially a forest fire, and she goes, some are still going.
Sure, that's what Angela says, but
that's set early as to why there's ash.
Yeah, but what is true? Is it that, or is it because of the fucking hotel being on fire?
Well, I assume the hotel's on fire from the forest fires. It got caught up in the fray. But yeah, it was really distracting in this movie. That was my biggest complaint with the ash. The first movie, yes, it's CG. We know it's CG for most of it, but it's not intrusive. This one, they did that shit that Bloober does, where they put shit moving in front of the screen.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's like, oh, this big hunk of ash is moving by the screen, and it's like, that looks terrible.
Hey, what's up, Three Dog? Angela isn't even Angela, right? Yes, you are correct. She symbolizes Mary. She is literally younger Mary.
She's teen Mary.
Angela and Laura were merged into Mary. They are all the same person. Like, Laura is young Mary, Angela is like teenage Mary, and then Maria is sexy Mary. They're all Mary.
Yeah.
Everyone's Mary. Merry Christmas.
But yeah, so my brain is failing.
The whole reveal was very silly. Yeah, I mean, they do it right at the end, or not at the end, but they show the gravestone.
Oh, that's right.
And Laura's like, remember
all my names.
Remember my full name. Yeah. What's my full government given name on my birth certificate, James?
Yeah.
And it's Mary Angela Laura Crane. Rosewater Park.
Yeah, so that's where Evie's leading him, is to a maze that's in Rosewater Park.
A lesser version of the hedge maze from The Shining.
A little bit. That happens, and then he loses her, goes to a dead end, so we don't know what happened to her. Starts to leave and gets interrupted by Lady, who is actually Maria, which I will say kudos to the costume person on that one.
Everything except the wig.
Even that was I feel like the BTS stills that they had made it look a lot worse than it actually did on film. And they may have done some post cleanup to make it look better too.
Seeing it in motion, it definitely wasn't as bad as a lot of the production stills and stuff, but it was still distracting.
Wasn't as bad as Angela's wig.
Angela's wig was probably the worst. Although, in terms of fake hair, the beard. The beard.
The beard takes
the
cake.
fake James beard was probably the worst.
So, yeah. Then we have, basically,
So James chases Laura around in a maze.
Right, she disappears, he's leaving, Maria
Rosewater,
comes out, says, I've been
Park.
watching you.
Yeah, Rosewater Park is
And here's where something happens, and I'm thinking this had to have had more stuff that got cut. Because, shit starts happening, and she's like, oh, he's coming. And there's like is that supposed to be, was it Pyramid Head or some dude that was walking in the distance coming up Rosewater Park?
I don't even remember.
It was a really quick shot of that, and I'm like, it was so quick. I thought it was a dude in a cloak, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? I think it was supposed to be Pyramid Head. But yeah, it was just a blip of a shot, and then they're running, and
that was Maria walking down the street before Rosewater. No. We're talking about in Rosewater after Mary and James meet.
Maria.
After James and Maria meet.
Yeah, it prompts their run where they run into the...
What forces them out of Rosewater
Park?
Yeah,
it was makes them, run out of Rosewater. They get a patient... This patient demon / lying figure is the one that has the booty wrinkles. Because it's the one that's, next to the truck, and it walks off this way, and there's the shot. It's watching James and Maria in the forefront. It's walking off into the background away from them, and you just see, the wrinkles in the fabric on the top of its ass as it's walking like it's being pulled too tight. Like when fabric's pulled too tight across the butt.
Yeah.
And I just lost my shit at that. I'm like, oh, why would you do that?
Did they talk with Team Silent for this? Could the multiple Mary thing become canon? So they did not, Akira Yamaoka is listed as a producer, but they basically consult him for music. And Yamaoka's always been the type who's just kind of whatever. When it comes to Silent Hill, sign the check. Sign the check and let me do some music. Because all he really cares about is the music. He's less concerned in terms of lore accuracy and things like that. Now, Masahiro Ito cares a lot about the lore accuracy and the developer intentions and tries to correct people whenever he can. And Ito has been trying to correct the record for years.
The poor man. In
terms of people thinking that everything is in James's head or that these characters are not real. He's multiple times stated that other than Maria, everyone was intended to be a real character. So that's not something that they consulted Team Silent for or anything like that.
So at this point, James tells her he knows he's got to go to the hospital. This is after that little puzzle piece you talked about, where he finds Mary Crane's toxicology report, or that she was in toxicology. So he's like, we gotta go to the hospital. And as they're running, there's another sequence where they stop in front of a building, and this is where we get that snow sequence where he follows and sees the blood ritual. Because he sees Mary being kind of manhandled by the cult.
It's hard to tell what's happening. Mm-hmm. People are just kind of groping and grabbing at her, and there's blood everywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's is that her blood? It looks like fucking...
It looks like ketchup.
It looks like Day of the Dead when they're ripping apart Joe Pilato. Except that she's just kind of laying there.
Yeah, because that's why her nose bleeds. That's why all that happened.
The drug made her bleed, and they licked up her blood. The blood was coming out of her pores.
She was covered in it. Yeah,
it was like everywhere.
Like the nosebleed, I get.
And it was like a clean hand would reach up towards like her torso, and then come away with blood, with like a squelching sound. It wasn't like, oh, she bled out of her nose and eyes, and then they were all grabbing it from that point.
There's no way they smeared it the way they did. Sorry.
The way it was framed, it seemed like they were trying to rip her apart. It was like a zombie movie. It was like like I said, it reminded me of like Day of the Dead. They're ripping apart Joe Pilato.
Yeah.
Didn't she even say a comment about not knowing if it was her blood or theirs? Yes. There's the last little part of the tape, because it's Maria listening to a cassette tape
of the doctor,
like Mary talking with the doctor. And Mary's like, all that blood, was that even mine? And then the tape ends. They don't answer that question. Also, my question after we left the theater, why? Why? Like, what is the purpose? Is there a ritual going on that they just forgot to tell us about? Why is the daughter of Joseph Crane drugged and blood groped for her entire life?
All I can think of
what is the purpose?
This is like a cheap Darren Aronofsky knockoff, personally. Like somebody who wants to try and do an Aronofsky scene that just did it not well.
It's a ritual. You get the idea. I mean, in the most vague sense, clearly they were doing it, I guess, for some sort of reason. And they're a cult, so it's probably a ritual.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's like, no specifics.
Yeah.
No, we never got that line of dialogue of like, my whole life it's been like this.
They're just
because
family. That's all she says.
Because it's the only thing that keeps the darkness at bay. If they blood finger me every year and make me drink stuff.
But that whole doctor's thing, again, we talked about it earlier, is like, this has been going on. They've been poisoning you. It robbed you of your free will. And it's basically killing you from the inside out now. And again, how the fuck do you know it robbed her of free will? What is that a fancy way of saying, like, they roofied you? Like, is that essentially just
how inebriated are you?
That goes beyond paralyzed. That's not a loss of free will.
Yeah.
You got free will all you want. You're just, potentially not able to act upon it.
Physically paralyzed is not the same as losing your free will.
Free will basically means they could bend her to their rules to do anything, but that would be something you would have to have witnessed.
Also, if she was given the drug that takes away her free will...
Is it temporary?
Well, it must be, because she was trying to leave the town, which I assume was her will. Right?
I guess.
James met her running away from the town.
So is it just then why...
Yeah. Uh-huh. What the fuck? If that's how that's supposed to work. She was abuse victim, afraid. If she doesn't have free will, if they drug her so that she doesn't have her own free will, her own thoughts.
Again, it's not that
being afraid.
And I think this is where crossover is going to happen with it. It makes it confusing. It's not that she is immobile. She's got no thought at all. She has thought, but it won't be from her. Like, it's not like she's just comatose.
The drug is only one thing, but it's a pretty big fucking thing if the drug's...
Specifically, he said
purpose is to remove a person's free will.
Again, she's not just sitting there catatonic, not unresponsive. She's not, paralyzed.
It's not like, it makes you hallucinate, or it makes you think that the bad experiences you're having are actually good. It's not just, we're doing this to brainwash you. It was like, literally you have no will of your own. Yet somehow she came to her senses and tried to leave. or decided to start a relationship with James.
And also knows what's going on. Because, I mean, that's the whole point. It's just like, this has been happening.
She doesn't have fucking amnesia. She's aware that she's lived a lifetime of abuse.
But if she's lacking free will, how would she understand it that way? Like, there's a whole line of thought here, and I'm not trying to minimize abuse or anything like that, but it's kind of a plot hole if you're giving a drug to someone that's supposed to make them lose free will, which theoretically at that point, once they come out of it, yes, they now have free will back, but would they actually view anything they did without free will as wrong? Because how would they know? Like, that's the whole point. You wouldn't even know that it wasn't your own thought or your own want of doing something. Like, there's a whole thing here. I don't know what the fuck happened, but that needed some repurposed thought. Like, yeah. If it had just been like, yeah, it made you hallucinate stuff. You know, it's a very strong hallucinogenic.
Again, Terry, if they had actually gone for that aspect, that realistic aspect of the brainwashing that happens when you're in a cult, that would have been an acceptable reason for things playing out the way that they did. They did not present it that way. It was not presented in a realistic, like, cult brainwashing sense. It is a magical, mystical drug that makes you lose your free will.
And, I mean, they do... I think Kristoff was confused, too, because they have a scene later where, he's drunk, he confronts her about what he saw that day, or it was actually earlier the same day, and at that point, she's like, they're my family, what do you expect me to do? And it's like... But then she understands that what she's done, she looks at her and is like, do you think what I've done is disgusting? She's got that awareness to it, which would go against the whole idea of she didn't have her own free will, because... Again,
she's like, I understand. You'd be disgusted by this, you know.
So she finds that's why she's leaving. She finds it problematic.
Is she not only? I'm trying to make sense of it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make sense of it.
Trying to dissect, trying to blame it on a drug, but then also tie it back to the whole family aspect of cult, being in a cult. That feeling of whatever. It's getting crisscrossed really bad with this storyline.
But again, they never were introducing it in a somewhat realistic way.
No. Again, and a doctor making that statement on top of that is just ridiculous.
Sure.
No doctor is ever going to say that.
Yeah. Except when we need exposition. And then we get James's therapist who's like, ever since Mary died, she was everything to him. And now he's lost his grip on reality.
The fact that that phrase is actually what she says. Jesus.
Remember Eddie's butt crack?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Remember Pyramid Head punching the mannequin in the butt? Spider Lady in the butt?
I remember the nurse banging the gong to bring the rest of them.
Oh, yeah. The nurses are just kind of there.
They're ceramic?
They're apparently made out of porcelain or ceramic or something now.
They look like shit.
The new head and mask design is not as good. I like it.
I get it because, it's supposed to be made out of porcelain ceramic, something that breaks easily. That's what they're going for, but it looks bad.
What about Maria smoking? That felt like the most appropriate thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's one of those changes that I would have been like, hey, that would have been fine in like the remake or something. An aspect of Maria I would 100% believe. Yeah, she drinks, she smokes.
What do they,
like, she's supposed to be the fun-loving, healthy, outgoing, everything that Mary could not be. You know, Mary's too sick to drink and smoke and have fun. Maria's not. That's her whole fucking point as a concept. She is everything that Maria could not be, while still being Maria. While being Mary. Whatever.
He's reverse it. Just reverse it.
Mary Elizabeth McClin.
So, yeah, we get all that. I said, nurse wakes all the other nurses with a gong, so we're going back to Silent Hill 2, which is they're attracted by sound instead of by light, which was an interesting whatever. So also during
We didn't get the postcard. No souvenirs. We got the photo that we took that you see on screen. That's our souvenir.
So yeah, we do the whole elevator sequence, only it's not going to be Pyramid Head. It's going to be a nurse who stabs Maria.
Yeah, that was a weird change. And then they have Pyramid Head show up and stab her anyway.
That's how they made up for the elevator thing being a nurse.
But if they're gonna do that, why not just do the elevator scene?
It gave James an opportunity to look kind of badass because he just was whacking the nurses, like he was actually doing something.
Sure, I guess we needed an action scene of James smashing a bunch of porcelain-faced nurses,
pulling his weight.
I don't know. He should have just thrown things. I liked the part where he throws the pipe at the lying figure.
So yeah, then Maria stabs. So he gets her out of there, gets her into a room, patches her up, which I would not trust any bandage, even if it's still in the wrapper. But hey,
whatever. It's all happening in his head. None of it's real.
True.
Who cares?
Yeah.
It's a Christoph Gans fever dream. He fell asleep after watching The Shining and Tartarus and playing Layers of Fear.
I'm telling you, man.
And had a weird dream where it all combined with Silent Hill 2.
I mean, I'll go with the plausibility of that.
Can't wait to see his Fatal Frame movie.
Yeah.
Think that's still gonna happen?
No. Not with Nintendo holding it, no.
Not after the reception this movie's getting.
Well, I don't even think Nintendo would even entertain that idea, to be honest. So, thinking. So, he patches her up. Oh, and he's like, I'm gonna go look for Mary. She's like, well, if you don't find her, you promise me that we're gonna leave together.
Yeah. And he doesn't say anything. He doesn't agree to that. Mm-hmm. And then later, when he comes back, she's like, you promised.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't. He fucking left.
Yeah.
He left right after you told him to promise.
So he goes out. Trying to think. Oh, is this, oh, yeah, then Evie's back. She lets him chase her through the hospital, and he goes to room 318, this is where Homecoming now comes into play.
It's a significant time.
That's when he fucking killed Barry.
Again, the remake does this. The remake does this with the 10 past 9 clock puzzle solution.
But Homecoming did it too.
Sure.
With Alex, and that was my first instinct was, oh, okay. Especially since it's dealing with like a medical type area. But yeah, we're pulling that shit out of our asses now. So, goes into 318. Laura locks him in. We don't get a fart face.
No, we do not get a Laura fart face moment. Instead, we get a creepy
doll.
Little doll peeking through the keyhole.
Yeah. And then we get Moth Mama, who shows up. And basically, it's the Alessa rig from the first...
Moth Mama?
Yeah. But it is essentially just the Alessa rig from the first movie.
Yeah.
Like, with her arms crossed, the makeup even looks very similar. It's just not goopy, like, with burn salve and whatever.
But it looked a lot like Alessa in the first movie.
But it did a lot... Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Alessa at the very ending, when
you see adult version, when she's in her hospital bed.
When she's in the hospital bed with all the barbed wire tentacles. Also, Moth Mom Mary having... a bunch of tentacles.
Yeah, I don't know why we turned into like...
I understood the moth symbolism.
Dungeon and Dragon. I don't know.
I at least was on board with the moth symbolism, but then she also had a bunch of tentacles.
Because we couldn't do barbed wire this time.
There was a really...
And she didn't need them anyway.
There was
hands.
There was a really bad green screen shot when the roof of... Stop it. When the roof of Brookhaven starts caving away, or the roof of the Lakeview
yeah,
starts caving away, and there's a shot of James where he like starts to fall and then he's like floating, and it looks so bad.
You can tell he's on a wire.
You can see the wire and his feet are like touching something.
Yeah, they're flat. They're perfectly flat, and your feet would not naturally do that if you're got nothing underneath them. It looks bad. But anyway, we get our first glimpse of this because we're thinking, oh, is it Flesh Lips? No, it's Mon Moth Mama, who looks a lot like first movie Alessa. And okay, next thing you know, she is just fisting the fuck out of James's throat, and you hear Laura basically say, "Come back when you're ready."
Yeah,
which is like, oh, if you hadn't already started figuring.
The throat scene reminded me of Resident Evil 3 remake.
Oh, I haven't.
So there's
I thought big, Deadly Premonition.
There's the big like insect creatures, and when they get introduced in Resident Evil 3 remake, they make a weird scene for a very particular type of fan, where it sticks its like egg laying thing down Jill's throat.
No.
And it reminded me a lot of that. Mon Moth Mama.
Well, we were just talking about Deadly Premonition.
Yeah.
And that was in Harimi's chat, that's what it was. But remember I was talking about like how the enemies, we were talking about it after, is like how the enemies, oh no, it was last night, the other night we were eating dinner.
Talking about
this movie, like what to expect.
And we started talking about David Lynch.
How he probably could pull off a pretty good Silent Hill 2 with his stuff.
And we were wondering if he's ever seen Deadly Premonition.
Because we were talking about Gans being a gamer. And it led to, well, Lynch was like to play video games.
David Lynch was a gamer.
I was like, I wonder if he's ever played Deadly Premonition, which is just Twin Peaks, the game. And but we were talking about the creatures, because the creatures, when you first see them in Deadly Premonition, they're weird. They're ghoulish. They're kind of like a purple, hazy, white coloration. They bend backwards, like their backs are broken, and they come after you, and if you don't cover your mouth and hold your breath, they can find you. And when they find you, they shove their hands down your throat. Like, that is what they do. And then Mon Moth Mama does that.
Hold on. I'll pull this up. Since Terry posted this in the Discord, there's the prop James head.
But you know what?
For the throat scene.
You know what? I'm good with that, because you know what that means? They use some practical stuff. Like, that's cool. Do that. But yeah, we get that, and you hear Laura basically tell James, you're not ready. Come back when you are, essentially. And like I said, that's supposed to be like, oh shit. And he wakes up in a modern hospital situation. Come to find out, it is Brookhaven. It is in Silent Hill. But it's nice. It's pretty. It's modern. And that's when we get all the
real world.
Yes,
it's
the real world.
He
snapped out of his own imaginings, essentially.
Because the whole movie, he's just in that room, looking out the window, angrily as happy couples walk by.
This is where I really was like, why are we doing Jack Torrance shots? And from this point forward, that's all we get of him for the most part, are these Jack Torrance shots.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, in The Shining, when Jack Torrance, who was played by Jack Nicholson, starts losing his shit...
was so excited to see Flesh Lips, and then it was the fucking grasshopper from A Bug's Life.
Them hands. But, brain discussion. Oh, Jack Torrance. So when they're trying to show that Jack Torrance is losing his brain, they do a very Kubrick did a very specific shot where Jack has his chin tilted down, his eyes are cut up, so he's looking, right under his brow ridge, and then the camera's shooting at an angle down onto him, and it makes a really creepy, demented look. Some of that's on Jack Nicholson, God bless him. But they were doing that same angle on this guy a lot from the point forward after he comes out of his delusion and then goes back. It's like he done jumped off the deep end at this point. And, he goes back, essentially.
Yeah, Yoshio. Transitions between scenes being very schizophrenic, but I suppose that was the point. I don't necessarily know if that was the point.
I don't think it was, because it's been going on like a lot, and that's not his issue.
It's one of those things where I was trying to think about this movie from the standpoint of not just a Silent Hill fan, but anybody who's doesn't know anything about Silent Hill, who is just like, let's watch a horror movie.
Yeah.
Who would go and watch this. This is a confusing train wreck to anybody who doesn't at least understand and recognize some of these aspects of the game that they are trying to mimic and trying to reference. I'm like, it's too different and too changed for, I think, most diehard fans of the games to really enjoy the movie as an adaptation.
Yeah.
And it does not make enough sense on its own for people who are just horror fans, not necessarily familiar with Silent Hill, to just watch as a movie. Like, it is very hard to follow without any sort of understanding. Again, if you play the games, you can spot things and be like, I get what they're referencing, even if they change it or they do something different. I kind of understand why James is here now, what this character is doing now. From a standpoint, if you don't have that sort of knowledge, it makes no sense. It's just sort of
it's like he's trying to do a OG Jacob's Ladder, but not really understanding how to make that work right.
Yeah.
Jacob's Ladder, the OG, not the remake, because that is awful. We have watched it. It does a good job of teetering that line of, you're getting this really crazy shit happening, and we're doing a lot of flashing around, but it's coherent in how they handle it, so you have an idea. It's a little discombobulated, but you're not losing the plot here.
Sure.
And I feel like this is someone trying to replicate it who doesn't grasp how to keep it tight enough that you're not confusing people.
Yes. That's another one of those things that's really difficult to make media like that doesn't cross over that line. Your Adrian Lynes, who directed Jacob's Ladder, your David Lynch's, people who can do that sort of crazy surrealism, but still have it come together to make sense.
That's why we were talking about Lynch would have been probably a good candidate if he, God rest his soul, was here. Who could have pulled it off and done a good job with something like that with this film.
I think a lot of people could have done that. Christoph Gans did not.
No.
He did not succeed. He was trying to do that.
You can see where he's trying to go. You can see his vision.
You can see his vision through the through the crash site.
Yeah.
Like, I get what...
Through the smoldering embers and smoke.
Yes.
You can see kind of the shape of what he's going for. But he basically, goes back into his own self after thanking the doctor for all her help, which you pretty much understand what that means if you know those types of movies. And she walks off. She's gone now. Everything's over. And we go back to Silent Hill. He wakes up in the room with Maria. And she's like, you didn't find her, right? And that's when she's like, you promised,
You promised we could leave.
And she tells him her name, finally.
Yeah, it takes that long.
And then kisses him.
And he's fine with this.
Yeah, there's no hesitation.
There's no hesitation. There's no pulling back. There's no, you're not Mary.
He doesn't, admit that, you look just like her. And that's when she's like, you never asked me my name. My name's Maria. So, I think I get kind of what he might have been going for there. James had to admit that, I'm going to backtrack. So before he leaves that world and he's taking care of Maria, she's like, you don't have to say it, but I look like her. I remind you of her. And she's like, you don't, I can see the way you look at me, that's the truth. So... He comes out at that, and then he goes back, and that's when we get this, where he does admit, yes, you look just like her. And then she's like, you didn't ask me my name. My name's Maria. And that kind of hammers that point of he had to reconcile that, yes, this was a manifestation of some sort. She's got a name that's a derivative, or not a derivative, but a different language version of Mary. And then he locks in and he's going after Mary. Like, at the end, he that's ultimately what he's going to do. We go into the labyrinth.
Again, we get
a bigger labyrinth.
We get Labyrinth Part 2.
That's got all of his paintings that he's done of Mary.
Because I mentioned that when we got to Rosewater Park earlier, where it turns into the hedge maze from The Shining. And while we were watching the movie, I leaned over to Rachel and I was like, the labyrinth is later.
Mm-hmm. And it was. It showed up again.
I'm like, we're only in Rosewater Park. We shouldn't be in the labyrinth yet. And then we show up in the labyrinth later anyway. And it's basically the same maze.
Yeah. But it's got all his paintings of Mary of various ways, shapes, and forms.
And a painting of Laura.
Yeah.
He had painted Laura and I think Angela when he's walking through the hallways with his gallery.
Yeah.
He had painted all these different versions of Mary.
Right. And then we get to the elevator. He's going to go down, and my brain's like, to the deepest part. Like, I could not get the whole Silent Hill 4 down to the deepest part of them, because we're just like, you're not going to find anything. You shouldn't go down there. And I'm just like, okay. This is James's brain we're going down, so, you know. And the whole time we're just Jack Torrancing in the elevator. She joins him. They go down. The elevator does another quick movement. And then she's just screaming at him. And they're doing the spin circle thing. I know somewhere in all of this, there's also the scene where we see the beard for the first time.
Again, the editing is so all over the place. I kind of forgot the sequence of events.
Is that after Pyramid Head kills Maria?
I don't remember. We're going to have to watch this movie again. Whenever it comes out.
Whenever we get... Yeah, listen, I'm going to own it. I own the other two anyway, so just for completionist sake.
I mean, as Silent Hill collectors, we're going to have... Once it's on a Blu-ray or whatever.
No. Beard was before Mary Death Scene. When I first was like, oh, is this Layers of Fear? He's painting of his younger self, and then he does like the red streaks coming down. He's got his beard
in the shape of the pyramid, because he's the pyramid head. So he paints a pyramid over his self-portrait.
Right. He's got his beard there too, because that's when you first saw it, you're like, that beard's terrible.
I was like, what's wrong with his beard? Why does he have the Star Trek TNG Data beard?
Yeah. And that's when I'm like, is it? I leaned to Nub. I was like, I don't think he heard me. I was like, is this Layers of Fear now? Like, what the fuck? And then he leaned over. He's like, this is Layers of Fear. So we're just okay.
Also, sorry to skip ahead a little bit, but while we're on the topic of painting and James being an artist, the ending when he's driving away with Mary and she's like, "You're an artist? What do you paint?" In my head, I was hearing Spaced.
Oh God, with Brian.
I was hearing Brian responding with like fear, pain, aggression, anger.
And if y'all have never watched Spaced, God, I hope you have, but if you've ever watched like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End, those three movies with Simon Pegg, Big Frogs, and Edgar Wright. Watch the TV series Spaced, because that's all of them prior to those movies being made. Also working with the girl, I forgot her name, who plays Daisy. You see her in other stuff.
In Shaun of the Dead.
She's definitely in Shaun of the Dead. But it's just nerdgasm with that British humor that comes with that particular group of people.
They somehow got the rights to use like footage and music from Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
And I mean, Tomb Raider.
That episode is what inspired them to do Shaun.
Yeah.
Like you clearly could see that.
Spaced is amazing though.
But yeah, Spaced.
But that was what my brain went to. My brain went to Brian when she asked him like, "Oh, you're an artist? What do you paint?"
I'm sure you could probably find it.
Fear.
So watercolors. Yeah.
So then James wakes up in the water.
Yeah, we have a sequence. That was the sequence where neither one of us has like an issue with flashing lights, and that was giving me a problem.
Oh, it was bad. I
had
to look away. Yeah, I'm not epileptic, and I don't have any sort of issues with that usually, but the editing on some of those quick light flashes was really bad.
Awful. It was like
really bad.
I don't know. But yeah, the room tilts, he slides down, he lands in the water, which is kind of your clue into probably what we're going to see later, because there's paintings of Mary down in there with him. But yeah, that's our first shot of the beard, is that. And then when he comes to, he's on the shore, and you hear crackling, and he stands up. This is him without the beard, current day. And it's Lakeview Hotel. It's on fucking fire.
That's kind of a nice shot.
Yeah.
James in front of the hotel. That's why they use it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's one of those things where, like, out of context, you're kind of like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We get that perspective.
All right, no problem.
Have a good one, Vanguard.
And I think somewhere in the middle of this is a flashback with the whole breakup with Mary thing, because he's like, you can either come with me, or I'm just leaving. And
I do gotta say, the impact of all of that, like, leaving, staying together, isn't that a little bit cheapened by them just being, like... Dating and not being married?
I mean, do we know what the timeline is on this? How long they were together?
Not really. He's been treated for almost a year after everything happened.
Right.
If we're to even assume that that's actual reality.
Well, here's where I'm confused. Because the doctor says she's been treating him for a year, but she tells him Mary's been dead for 3 months. She specifically gives a month number, not a year.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's like, she's already been dead for 3 months. You have to let her go.
But
I've been treating you for almost a year?
She tells the nurse she's been treating him for almost a year. I caught that when I was like, wait a minute.
So is that the amount of time where he... learned what happened... And that's the whole scene where he kicks the suitcase out. He kicks the suitcase towards her. And he's like, pack up your shit. You're going to leave with me, or I'm going to leave by myself. So then she's like, I'm sorry. That's my life. It's all I've ever known. Yeah. And he's like, fuck this. And he has his fit and leaves. So he starts seeking therapy.
And that, I guess.
After they broke up.
And then he goes and gets the beard.
But then it gets worse once she dies.
He kills her.
Yeah.
He comes back. He's got the bad beard on. He comes back and she's fucked. He doesn't know what happened at that point. That's what he learned. Or maybe he does. I don't know.
Well, she explains, like, my father poisoned me my whole life.
But he learns from the tape that he hears later.
Sure.
Whatever. And then, she gets a nosebleed. He pleads it. She's like, I want my freedom. So then he kills her.
I feel like that also was a point that was cheapened by having Mary just asking for death.
Yeah.
Like, that removes a lot of the moral implications that have been a deciding factor of what makes Silent Hill 2 so good. Mm-hmm. I think a big thing of why Silent Hill 2 stands out in a lot of people's heads from a narrative perspective is the idea that James killing Mary is never really 100% just like Mary wanted it or James wanted it. It's this middling, you're not really sure mixture of circumstances. And removing that ambiguity and having Mary just say, you know what I want. Mm-hmm. I want to be dead.
Yeah.
Give me this release. And he just does it.
Benny, leave him alone. Yeah, so, I don't know. But, yeah, back to the thing, because I had questions about the whole... Therapist like, I've been treating him a year, but she tells him she's only been dead for 3 months. I don't know. There's weird timeline shit that doesn't get explained worth the damn. But he goes into the Lakeview. Laura's in there. Something weird happens to her face. The weird baby thing's making noises. There's just a lot going on there. And that's when she's like, remember Mary's full name. And we keep doing this flash to the grave. And then he gets to the grave, and then we see it, and it says Mary, Angela, Laura, Crane.
And I think I leaned over to you and said something, and I don't remember what. I think I was just like, oh my fucking God. Because I was like, really? Like, that's... And they alluded to it earlier because they showed her medical file for like 2 seconds.
And there's 2 initials.
And it's like Mary A.L. Crane.
Mm-hmm.
And we were so caught up on the Crane part of the name, we didn't focus on the A and the L.
Yeah.
Being Angela and Laura. And then that's the big reveal.
Right. And then that's when things start kind of fast-pacing here. We get Angela's hallway.
Yeah, they just speed run through Angela's burning hallway.
He goes into a room, and there's the Mary version of Angela on the bed. She's like, can you see him too? She pulls her skirt up, and there's these creepy looking hands coming out of the mattress, and I'm like, oh.
I kind of liked that.
If they had left it there, I would have been okay.
I kind of liked that moment. It reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
That felt like a very Freddy Krueger thing.
Yeah.
Of like the hands being part of the bed, reaching up and grabbing around the legs. Like that on its own was not so bad. But then we see the rest of Abstract Daddy.
Oh my God. I don't know what they did to my daddy, because that's like my favorite creature. Abstract Daddy has always been one of my top tier favorite creatures out of Silent Hill. Because he is exactly that. He's abstract. You see what,
A lot less abstract in this version.
Oh my God.
A lot more blatant and on the nose
in this version. And the mattress is floppy.
But they're fucking. They're humping. And making sounds.
Yeah.
Human
I liked
hands.
the room. I really liked that they redid the room and made it look good.
They had the fucking flesh walls and the pistons and everything like that.
The room was nice.
And I, whenever that happened, that was the first time Rachel had seen it. I saw the behind the scenes still shots.
I know it's virtual, but the fact they did that to that degree, like
it was a physical set. Like that's,
not all of it. It's going to have some effects over it.
But for the most part, they built that room.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the behind the scenes shots of the flesh walls and the pistons and everything from like a wide shot where it shows the full like stage and setup and everything. That was all for the most part pretty much well done. Mm-hmm. Like they don't, but then they also just sort of rush that scene along. Like just like Eddie, it sort of pops up to be like. Here's something from the game, and then rushes past it.
Yeah, but, I mean, you get the implication, she's been like, don't touch me, James. I won't ever let somebody touch me again, to she's sitting on the mattress, and his hands come up and grasp right around her thighs, and you can only imagine probably what she's sitting on at that point, and then they get pulled into the room, and it's very blatant that it's Mary underneath this thing, and there's shit going on. The mattress is floppy. To me, I hated it. I did. I did not like that creature at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he defeated it by recognizing it was Mary and saying, oh, I'm so sorry. And then it just
cradled her head, and then it turned into
goo,
smoldering goo on the ground.
I don't know. Then he walks out. We're back in Angela's hallway. There's Mary in the dress, the black version with the patterning. She walks up the stairs. He follows. It's burning on the Lakeview rooftop. We walk forward. There's a bed with a body wrapped in a sheet. He looks at it. We get the flashback where we learn he did go back and visit Mary, but at this point she is beyond help. Like, she can't move. She can't do anything. He's apologetic. She's like, he's okay. This would have happened regardless because of my father. Help me get to my bed. She gets the nosebleed during the movement. He goes to grab the towel.
She tries to grab her glass of water.
Yeah,
falls out of bed.
He brings her the towel, wipes off the blood, and then they have the discussion where she's like, I want my freedom. And he puts the towel to her face and then holds his hands over that. And he's like, ugly sobbing with no tears.
She's exercising her free will.
True.
By choosing death.
I guess.
Which they made a big point of in the game to focus on she didn't get that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a whole plot point of the game that maybe a lot of people miss or overlook, but one of the things when you get into the prison in Silent Hill 2, in the original and in the remake, you find a room with historical depictions of executions,
right?
And one of them describes that a prisoner's last taste of freedom, one of their last things that they are able to freely choose, is how they die.
Mm-hmm. And that's historic.
And they were emphasizing the idea that, like, even Mary didn't get what, like, prisoners typically get. That choice was made for her. And
she does actually struggle if you watch her legs, which, for realism's sake, is correct. It doesn't matter how much you want it. If you are being strangulated in any way, shape, or form, your body is going to fight. You can't control that unless you're unconscious. So if you pay attention, yes, her legs are moving in a struggle-type pattern.
A little bit.
It's not...
But it's
not violent.
But it implies that she's so sick by that point that she can't do much else.
She is still giving that struggle, but it's still one of those things where, like you said, it's her free will. She's still keeping it as minimum so that it happens. So that happens. We get out of that. The bench that's on the rooftop floats up and metamorphoses into Mothma again. Mama again, where now we have like billowing fabric that looks like moth wings. We get a better view of her with her weird fucking tendrils, not alloyed tendrils, and her multi arms.
Yep.
But again, it's the lesser rig again, like just with not barbed wire, and less goo from being in burn gel. And we, is it a voiceover or is Jane? It's a voiceover, isn't it? Jane's talking about, I should have died with you that day.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a fucking Mothnado that happens, and then everything's not on fire anymore. He's kneeling on the roof. There's a body in front of him wrapped in the sheet. He leaves, and I'm like, where the fuck did this car come from?
His car is suddenly just there. It's just there.
But again, it's his own brain.
And somebody put the top down.
Yeah, I mean, it's his own brain doing it. So. But still, oh my god. But
his car was his Mustang was just there, and somebody conveniently put the convertible top down so that he could gently place Mary's body in the passenger seat.
The top was up when it went under, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, okay. But yeah, his brain put his car conveniently there when it wasn't. He puts Mary in the seat, gets in the driver's seat, drives off the dock into not very much water.
It was a lot more shallow than I would have expected. Even for, like, off of a dock where you're still kind of relatively close to the shore of a lake. It seemed way too shallow.
Yeah.
And also, shout-outs to Shattered Memories, because the shot of the car sinking down to the bottom...
that's very much...
It looked so much like the scene in Shattered Memories.
Yeah.
When everything freezes on the bridge, and Harry's car goes into the water, and you have the little, like, mini-game of adjusting the radio and unlocking the car and everything. It was very, very Shattered Memories inspired.
James monologues a bit. Grabs Mary's hand, camera pans as he drowns, and there's the Mustang logo.
Oh my god.
Just forefront center.
Because the Mustang logo is up on the windshield, up next to the, like, reverse mirror. And the center mirror. And it's just like, yeah, Mustangs.
Yeah.
Get very weird time for product placement, but
And then as he finishes monologuing, we're sitting on that shot. We hear that nurse from earlier calling his name. It's bright white light. And as she's calling his name, that semi-truck from earlier in the film.
Travis Grady.
Yeah, Travis Grady then is filling the screen again. And next thing you know, we're going through the opening sequence again, up to and including meeting Mary. And we have now entered loop fucking theory.
Straight up loop theory, because James remembers.
Yes.
He's come into this remembering everything. He knows everything, and he's like, oh,
your latch is broken.
Your latch is broken. How did you know that? Well, you hit it with your fucking car. It's a fair assumption. Your name's Mary. How did you know that?
Yeah.
It's on your suitcase.
He tries to pack it up so that she can get on the bus this time.
Samsonite. I was way off.
He does try and get her onto the bus. It still fails. But this time, when they get into his car, instead of her going, hey, we should just go back to town, he drives like an asshole and goes the opposite way with her. And now it's a happy ending because she left.
I'm going to go with this strange man who drives his Mustang like an asshole.
And hit my luggage.
And then ran over my luggage and peels out of the fucking parking lot. The end.
Yeah.
And then they started playing
Letter from
the Lost Days while it showed Mary's letter.
Which was reused from the first movie.
So that's Return to Silent Hill. We certainly returned to Silent Hill.
Yeah. But we sat there talking because people were pretty much out at that point.
Oh yeah, everybody left.
But we were talking about it, and at the end of the movie, we had laughed enough and still enjoyed what was happening enough that I'm like, I 100% am going to buy this when it comes out. And we will be watching it again, and I will actually still enjoy watching it again.
We had fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun that we had laughing.
And a lot of people are not going to be able to take it that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be very upset about this movie and its changes and its nonsensical plot lines and cheap.
Oh, that was another one.
Cheap feeling
with
moments.
The ending, they started playing the end theme song.
Yeah.
And that seemed just a weird place for that one.
Yeah.
That was another weirdly placed piece of music.
They start playing Theme of Laura, right? Or was it?
No, it's one of the end.
Promise, or I don't remember.
So yeah, that's it for us. We did not feel like we wasted time or money going out to see it in this cold that we have going on.
So as a Silent Hill 2 adaptation, what to you is absolutely criminal that they left out? Well, the story. If you mean like specific parts of the game, I would have liked to have seen the prison and the historical society.
I think that's kind of the stand-in in the labyrinth with all the paintings.
But the thing is, like, as just a horror movie, as just going into this, regardless of if you like Silent Hill or not, this is like a maybe 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
For just a horror movie. As a Silent Hill 2 adaptation, I'd say it's maybe like a 2 out of 10. There's going to be a few things that as a fan you can point at it and be like, I know what that is. I recognize this. It's definitely made for the I recognize this and I clapped crowd. Yeah. But if you think about the games any deeper beyond like surface level recognition type stuff, you're going to be very frustrated, I think, with a lot of the changes. Now, if you are the type of person who can have fun watching a bad movie, which we are, I would say this is like a 6 out of 10 bad movie watch.
Yeah.
If you have fun watching bad movies, this is a pretty good bad movie. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's got things that make us laugh. It's not too long.
No, I didn't feel like I was sitting there.
It didn't feel like an hour and 47 minutes.
No. It actually felt like it was moving too fast with the way they did the storyline.
As quickly as they sped through stuff, it felt rushed. Yeah. It felt like they were trying to squeeze everything into like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It did not feel its length. Because I was like, oh, when is Eddie's Plop gonna come back? When is he gonna come back and start fighting with James? Never. Apparently they just rushed through all of that. When it, like, all these things I kept waiting to happen, they just don't happen. So it's bizarre in that sense, and I think it's going to throw a lot of people off. But if you're the type of person who can watch bad movies and get enjoyment from watching bad movies, it's the same way that I've described the first Silent Hill movie. It's kind of, to me, like a big budget bad movie. If you look at it sort of on its own, it's fairly nonsensical, but Pyramid Head rips a girl's skin off and throws it at a church. You know, like, it's got those little moments where you're like, that's kind of fucking cool. It's got those little cameras and camera movements and sets, and
Christoph's strong point, the camera and the sets.
Those little moments where it clearly somebody paid attention. Like, this was not made through somebody misunderstanding the source material. This was somebody who was willingly going in to change things,
right? And
shows off several moments where they recreate things incredibly accurately in terms of visuals, like camera movements and sets and environments and things. A lot of that is very impressive. Again, it's a little bit painful because it's like, it feels wasted that they didn't make a more accurate movie, but I don't know. For me, it was enjoyable. I would much rather watch this over Revelation 3D.
Yeah.
Because that's got, like, so fewer moments where you're like, oh, that's something cool, or here's something that's so bad that it's funny. There's way less of that in Revelations. What do you have, really? Like, Pop-Tart jump scare and fuck Facebook and
Wincest.
That's not a fun part. That's what the fuck is wrong with you?
It was funny.
That was just...
No, it was stupid funny to be like, who wrote this?
The reveal of it is funny.
Yeah.
With Jon Snow, like, opening his shirt and being like, it's the only way I could cross into your world.
Which absolutely makes no sense on anything, but, you know, it's okay. We get our Travis Grady cameo, and we get our Murphy on the bus cameo in Revelation.
At the very end of Revelation. Yeah. There's monologue in the classroom. Yeah. I'm not gonna be your friend. I'm not gonna add you on Facebook. And then Jon Snow, who supposedly has never been in the real world before, somehow blends perfectly in with all the rest of the students.
My theory on that always was that he talks about other people have done it, and I think they bring back enough knowledge, and that was maybe what they were there for, was to gather for him, because that was the ultimate plan, was to send his ass through. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Christoph shouldn't try to adapt any material. He should just make his own fucking...
He needs to follow Paul Anderson's way of going with
Resident Evil. Yeah, and just
like,
make his own fucking thing.
We're using enemies and images that we recognize, but it's its own fucking thing.
If the story's going to be this different, don't even make it, like, referential. Just completely ditch it and do something else. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's the movie in a nutshell. Again, I went into it with low expectations, and literally in the first 20 seconds I was laughing when James pulled out his blunt. When James pulled out his fucking joint and lit it up as he turned up his radio and sped around in his Mustang.
With his easels and his canvases.
I was laughing from the first 20 seconds in, and I consistently laughed throughout the whole thing.
Oh, the CG rats got you?
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, look at the terrible CG rats when all the rats started running out in that one bit. I don't know. It crosses the line of so bad it's entertaining for me.
Yeah.
It's not one of those ones where it's so bad it just, like...
It's painful.
It's painful. It makes me want to shut it off. There's a lot of bad movies out there like that. This one crosses the line into being fun bad.
Yeah.
I wish that would have been the reason for the fog. Would have been a reference to him smoking and being a stoner. Was impressed with some of the music. I was impressed with the music choices, not the music placement. Like, there was a lot of times where we were like, ooh, Silent Hill 4 music.
Yeah,
ooh.
it was just nice to get
how fancy.
Yeah. 4 is my favorite game anyway,
and
so, yeah, to hear the music, I was like, ooh, reference.
Yeah, anytime the recognizable music kicked in, we were just like, oh, look, there's this song. And, but it never felt appropriate for the scene that was happening.
No, except for Waiting for You live, because you're in a club.
Yeah, that was the only one that really fit. SH2 is the one Gans wanted to do from the beginning, but didn't do it back then for whatever reason. Well, he got his chance. And I said I had a good laugh. I don't feel like our money was wasted.
No.
So yeah. That's kind of our thoughts. Should ask the true experts. Was any of the music remixed in the game? Or was it basically just lifted straight from the games and barely changed? Most of it was pulled straight from the games.
OSTs.
There was a couple of versions that are slight variations.
And those were really like just a snippet they would place in there for some reason.
Yeah, there were some slight little edits and variations. Oh yeah, the full OST is up on YouTube. The legend. Francisco Relaño Peña on YouTube, who has also uploaded like all of Silent Hill Ascension and a bunch of Silent Hill stuff over the years, has the full soundtrack up.
The only thing with doing a Silent Hill 4 movie is you got to make sure you don't replicate 1408.
Yeah, there's already a brilliant Silent Hill 4 movie, and it's called 1408.
Thank you, Stephen King.
Thank you, Samuel L. Jackson.
And John Cusack.
John Cusack.
Giving his best Nick Cage performance ever.
Hey, he
fucked that fridge up.
He fucks up that mini fridge so good. It's one of my favorite scenes. But yeah. That was our night. And then we got Domino's and now we're here. Now we're here eating pizza, sharing our experience. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You have anything else?
No.
Nothing you want to add?
My head hurts.
Yeah. For unrelated reasons.
No, theaters make my head hurt. Every time I go see a movie in a theater, my head fucking's awful afterward. It's always been that way, though.
Would you want me to send you guys a spare postcard? If I get like a P.O. box or something set up, which I might try to do this year, but they're expensive and we don't have that many people who want to send us things to really justify it, so probably not. I appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the thought, though. They may have had postcards. I forgot to ask. Legitimately.
I would say probably not, though.
We're in a fairly rural area with a fairly smaller theater, so
yeah,
I doubt they had anything like that. I mean, I was happy they even had the poster out front for us to take a picture.
Yep.
Chat, quick compliment Nub with his glasses. How dare you?
Oh yeah. I didn't want to. I was driving, so I didn't wear mine tonight because I can switch between contacts and glasses. But if I have to drive, I prefer not. I'm not doing my glasses if I ain't gotta.
Looking snazzy. Thank you, Bettis.
But, like, I had been kind of telling Nub for a while, and hopefully we'll get some equipment before too long to help out with it, but whenever we watch movies, good, bad, whatever, like, we talk
We always have these, the same way we just have yapped with you guys for the last 2.5 hours about this.
We basically do that.
This is just how we talk with each other every time we watch movies and talk about shit. So, I know this isn't something we do very often, but if you guys are interested, we'd always be down to do more videos, more streams, or a podcast or something.
Yeah.
Where we can talk about more movies, because we could easily talk for hours about the first 2 Silent Hill movies, let alone all the other horror stuff that we've seen already, let alone all the other new horror stuff coming out that we're going to eventually see.
Oh, God. Yeah, the freaking trailers.
Uh-huh.
That audio one was getting on my nerves. And none of it was spooky. I'm sorry. Like, they were doing that little...
Definitely going to watch that one when it's on Shudder.
What was it called? It's an A24 film.
It was A24. I don't remember the...
But it's like a podcaster who listens to creepy shit, and I think they call in, like, demon speaking or something, and yeah, it's just...
They get haunted from listening to the spooky audio.
And there's, like, a little girl whispering, and I'm like... No, that's not... No. Yeah, that's it.
Undertale.
So there was that one. There was...
I thought they were making I thought it was an A24 film adaptation of Silvio.
I wondered that, yeah.
When they started showing all the audio wave stuff,
yeah.
I was like, is A24 doing an adaptation of Silvio of all things?
I mean, if you're going to go after a game, that's not a bad idea.
And then it wasn't that, and I was slightly disappointed.
There was the Ready or Not, Here I Come, which is the sequel to Ready or Not from several years back.
I haven't seen that, but now I'm interested in it after seeing the trailer for the sequel.
It's alright.
Does the first one have Frodo in it?
No. That was a new addition.
Oh.
Yeah, fucking Elijah Wood. Just, hello, Frodo. What you doing?
I like Elijah Wood when he plays creepy villains. It's like Sin City.
So there was that one. Oh, the Dracula one.
Oh yeah, the new Dracula.
That is like
basically a recreation of
Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Who did that one?
Like who directed?
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal, and I'm sure Yoshio's going to grab it for us here in a second, but...
I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't know where my phone went. I left it at the theater.
Coppola.
Oh, that was a Francis Ford?
I believe so. But, yeah. But it basically looks like they took that whole premise... Yeah, there we go. It's Coppola. I didn't even look it up. I'm like, oh, yeah. But it's like they took that premise of, you know, him being the Vlad and going to war and expanded that piece of it more. And then redid the whole thing from the Coppola film with her being reincarnated in the same fucking time period that movie did.
Yeah.
But it's not Gary Oldman, and I don't give a flying shit. I didn't like that Dracula.
That's okay. It's got that one guy, the main Nazi from Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, I haven't watched Inglourious Basterds.
It's a good movie.
But they're basically doing that, and I'm like, why are we doing this? This exists. Just go watch it. It's from the 90s. It's got Winona Ryder in it. Is it Winona? Yeah, I think it's raining. But, so there was that trailer. Wasn't there another one? I remember all the terzepatide fucking things they were running while we were sitting there waiting.
Blair Witch. Thank you so much for the 3 months of subscription in advance.
Exactly. It looked just like they copy-pasted the fucking Coppola movie.
We didn't see the trailer for Mother Mary. Not during this, anyway.
Yeah, it was... I'm like, we don't need to do this. That movie still withholds the test of time. It's still really good. We don't need this shit again.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're getting all the original cast back for a new Mummy movie.
And Scream, that was the other one. Was
Scream! That's
which
right.
I already knew about that, with them bringing back as many of the folks as they
I was like,
could.
hey, it's Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
She came back.
Mm-hmm. Which, that's almost like a Halloween type of take because it's
I
Sydney
was
and her daughter.
I was thinking that the whole time.
It's like, you need
We
to
were
shoot him in
watching
the
that
head.
trailer, and the shot of Ghostface in front of the burning house.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And,
that.
and
It
remember
was
they
like,
did, remember they did the shot going through town, and it's the Texas Chainsaw
yes,
at the fucking
at
theater.
the theater,
Really?
the Dallas theater that was showing Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh my god.
Yeah, all the little stuff. But I mean, it's Scream. That's literally Scream's whole
But why
gimmick.
was it not a Wes Craven movie?
I don't know, because it's Scream. It's just, it references as much horror as it can. That's its whole gimmick. It's the self-referential
But yeah,
horror franchise.
we're doing the mother-daughter thing, which I'm just like...
They were doing the mother teaching the daughter to be a badass and survive the killer. The shots of it was paced so much like
Halloween.
like the new Halloween.
The one John Carpenter actually worked with.
Halloween, and then Halloween.
Was that 2018?
Yeah, Halloween 2018, and then Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
God.
There's something we can talk about.
Talk about wasted potential.
Jesus, that was
Talk
a
about
bad movie.
wasted potential. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So, yeah, like... yeah, we had a nice long talk about that after, like, a few minutes of just sitting there of what the fuck. Because we will do that too, where we just kind of have to sit and stare. And just not even know.
Yeah.
No words.
Are they doing a new Mummy with Brendan
supposedly-
Fraser? Yes.
And Ahmed.
They're bringing back like everybody.
Yeah,
like
who's
as
alive.
much as much of the living original cast that'll still come back for it, and I think almost
Most,
everybody has signed on to it, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, there is actually another Mummy movie that is a scary one. I know what he's talking about because I saw something about it online. I'm like, why?
Like a Universal Monsters mummy.
The idea of being,
Type
horror, not
Remember the
Tom Cruise,
Dark Pictures Universal.
where they're trying to revive their monsters. Yeah, no.
Remember when that failed? That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. We never got that Johnny Depp Invisible Man movie, did we? Did we? I don't think that ever came to
I have
existence.
no idea. Oh, I don't think he didn't understand the concept. He very much I think he does understand the concept of two, but
Saw something about Akira Yamaoka saying he'd be happy if Gans did a Silent Hill 4 movie. God, please do not let that man touch Silent Hill 4 if he didn't understand the concept of 2.
I don't think it's a misconception on his end. I think he does understand. He just wanted to take his spin on it like he did with the first one, but tried to kind of maintain...
He takes a lot more artistic liberty than I
Yeah.
think most fans would in his position.
want. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think there's a misconception from Gans on what it actually is.
I mean, there are definitely hints that he doesn't fully understand certain aspects of it. There's interviews where he's talking about stuff like Silent Hill 3, and he's like, if you look at that game and understand its meanings, it's clearly about doppelgangers. And it's like, well, reincarnation, not so much doppelgangers. But, you know.
I mean, theoretically, a doppelganger could happen if, say, like, the soul was split and they both rebirthed around the same time.
See, that's the thing, is if you think about it in terms of, like, Cheryl and Alessa existing at the same time, and then...
Then it's a doppelganger.
Kinda.
And the whole myth behind a doppelganger is if you see a doppelganger, one of y'all ain't gonna be surviving that. And it's like,
Well...
the soul came together, one goes missing.
But what if you hugged?
Well,
What if you saw your evil doppelganger and then you hugged on a merry-go-round? That would just fix everything. Everything would
which
be
one's
fine.
stronger.
It would be fine. Anyway, I'm gonna go eat pizza and go to bed. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate y'all coming and listening to our TED Talk on Return to Silent Hill. and various other things.
Yeah, we tend to ramble, but we'll circle back.
That's the fun of it.
We circle back.
What's important is I showed you a clip of Tartarus, of a man in a cheap dollar store alien costume punching another man, and how that movie is forever ingrained now with Return to Silent Hill in my brain.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I could share that with you. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'm going to take some headache meds.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all for coming by. I'll be back tomorrow playing some video games. I don't know what. We'll see what I'm feeling up for. We've been playing a lot of Valheim lately. I'm sure
it's a Sunday, so I can Valheim too.
Oh, that's true. We could Valheim or Phasmo or all of the above. We could play some stuff.
I've definitely been on a Valheim kick.
Yeah. Once that bug hits, it's
bad.
It's hard. It's hard to break away from it. But all right. 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. Again, final ratings. As a Silent Hill 2 adaptation, it's a 2 out of 10. As a horror movie on its own, it's a 3 out of 10. As if you can enjoy bad movies as entertainment, I'd say it's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 for me.
6 if you have somebody with you, a 5 if you don't.
Yeah. There's enough stuff in it that made me laugh out loud because of how absurd or bad it was. And I legitimately had fun sitting and making fun of it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for another 20 years of people whose introduction to Silent Hill was this movie, and they're going to be asking all sorts of stupid questions because they have a fundamental misunderstanding of the series. That's going to be a fun future to live in. Anyway, bye.
Bye-bye.